And good evening, everyone. Live from Everwise Freed Field here on the campus of Penn High School here in beautiful Osceola, Indiana. This is Penn Kingsman football right here on the Regional Radio Sports Network and on 91.1 FM The Globe and globeradio.org. And we welcome you to Week 5 of the high school football season here in the Hoosier State. Hard to believe we're already halfway through the regular season, and that is going to come of note at a later point in one of the coaches' interviews. But here for tonight, your Penn Kingsman at 3-1 overall and 2-0 in the Northern Indiana Conference. They host the Mishawaka Marian Knights, and they come in with a record of 2 wins and 2 losses, also 2-0 in the NIC. Well, these both teams are 2 of 3 teams currently in the conference who are still undefeated in conference play. Once again, good evening from here at Penn High School. My name is Tanner Camp. As always, to my left, Matt Lillier, and to my right, Matt Compsey, in that exact order for these last 5 weeks. As we set the stage for you here tonight, the Penn Kingsmen, of course, under first-year head coach Pete Reardon, made it back-to-back dominating performances in conference play. They took care of business against the South Bend Washington Panthers 44-6 last week. It was the first time that the two teams played in a decade, and that win extended Penn's streak to 9 straight regular season home wins, which dates back to 2022. And meanwhile, their opponent on the flip side for the Mishawaka Marian Knights, led by 7th-year head coach Mike Davidson, they put on an overall impressive performance in probably their most important game as of this moment in the season by shutting out the rival, their big-time rival in South Bend St. Joseph and the Huskies, back at home by a score of 27-0 back in the Holy War. This is the 20th meeting all-time between the Knights and the Kingsmen, with Penn leading the all-time series 11-8 as the Kingsmen won last year's matchup back over at Bob Tolsky Field 41-13. The Kingsmen are also winners of the last 3 meetings, and for Mike Davidson here for the Knights, 1-3 versus the Kingsmen, and Pete Reardon comes in with a clean sheet at 0-0, his first ever matchup here against the Knights. Last time Marian defeated Penn, you got to go back to the 2020 season, back on September 25th, when Marian just squeaked out a 20-6 victory, which was right here at Penn High School. First ever game between these two schools. Got to go all the way back to 1966, where Marian defeated Penn by a score of 33-0. And of course, one thing that we want to double check again, 20-16 is what it was. Let's put a 1 in front. That makes a huge difference in the game of football. We'll make sure that we put all the right numbers in correct. And as always, high school football on the Regional Radio Sports Network is presented by the Lilliard Insurance Agency, your independent insurance agency on Lincoln Way West in Osceola. Harrison Sons Construction, Chris Neal State Farm Insurance on East Day Road in Mishawaka. Beef O'Brady's Good Food, Good Sports, located at the intersection of State Road 23 and Bittersweet in Granger. McDonald Physical Therapy on Hickory Road in South Bend. Clover Machinery Movers on Clover Road in Mishawaka. A's Rental, where one call rents it all on Edison Road in Mishawaka. Guidance Wealth, our season sponsor on the Penn kicking team, which is located in Windsor Court in Elkhart. Zolman Tire, with locations in South Bend, Mishawaka, Granger, and Niles up in Michigan. And on the web at ZolmanTire.com, the 2024 Indiana Football Digest. More information available at IndianaFootballDigest.com. The Coach's Box, join Hall of Famer Paul Condrey Thursday nights from 6 to 7 Eastern Time. Live for Beef O'Brady's in Granger right here on 91.1 FM The Globe. Cuban Networks, your technology advocate for security, communications, enterprising networks, and computer support. Eric Gunther State Farm Insurance for life, home, car insurance, and more on South Michigan Street in South Bend. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. The Beeler Law Office and Penn grad Ray Beeler, offering her clients estate planning, probate administration, and bankruptcy, business, guardianship, and other family services on Lincoln Way West in Osceola. Flags International, providing Penn Kingsmen, also international and sports flags on McKinley Highway in Osceola, and on the web at flagsinternational.com. The Ronald McDonald House Charities, providing comfort and care for sick and injured children all across Michiana. To donate or volunteer, the website is rmhcmichiana.org. And Ivy Tech Community College, the goal isn't just graduation day, it's a better every day after. Let's take a 2-minute timeout. We'll bring in Matt Lilliard and Matt Compsey to talk about tonight's matchup here in Northern Indiana Conference play. One of these teams is going to stay undefeated here tonight, and it's either going to be the Mishawaka Marian Knights or the home team on the scoreboard, the Penn Kingsmen. Once again, Tanner Camp from here at Everwise Freed Field. We'll be right back after this 2-minute timeout here. You are listening to Penn Kingsmen football on 91.1 FM The Globe and the Regional Radio Sports Network.
For 30 years, the Lilliard Insurance Agency has been a proud sponsor of local sports in Michiana. The Lilliard Insurance Agency is an independent insurance provider which offers its customers auto, home, business, life, and health insurance. They are located at 410 Lincoln Way West in Osceola. For more information, the phone number is 574-674-0015, and their website is realvalueins.com. That's REALVALUEINS.com.
Live in Beef O'Brady's in Granger, it's the Coach's Box every Thursday night at 6 on 91.1 The Globe, hosted by Indiana Hall of Fame broadcaster Paul Condrey. The Coaches Box features in-depth interviews with high school and collegiate level athletes from all around the region. Get the inside scoop from coaches and get a good look at the behind-the-scenes world of Indiana athletics. Tune into the Coaches Box, once again live every Thursday at 6 on 91.1 The Globe.
Beef O'Brady's is a locally owned, family-operated restaurant designed for food and sports, featuring appetizers, wraps, pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and wings. Beef O'Brady's also broadcasts televised sporting events. The State Road 23 Granger location has carryout service and includes a party room and outside patio. More information is available on their website, beefobradys.com, or by calling 574-271-1415. Again, that's 574-271-1415. Beef O'Brady's. Good food, good sports.
Eric Gunther and State Farm Insurance are proud to underwrite a portion of tonight's game on the Regional Radio Sports Network. Eric's office is located at 356 South Michigan Street in South Bend. Under State Farm Insurance Agency, Eric offers auto and health insurance, as well as financial services. For more information on these or other products that State Farm offers, Eric can be reached at 574-291-1597. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome you back here to Penn High School here on the Regional Radio Sports Network and on 91.1 FM The Globe. Huge shout out to Cormac Coop Lipsy, our board operator here tonight. We've had the blessing of getting to work with many great board operators throughout this season, and we appreciate his hard work here tonight. Let's go ahead and bring to my two-color commentators. We'll start with Matt Lilliard. And Matt Lilliard, an overall just dominating performance for the Black and Gold. There were a couple of players that may have stood out, but really it was just a great team win here for the Canes. And, 266 yards of offense, of course, primarily on the ground, which is what the Gold Rush is known for, 190 on the ground, the other 76 in the passing department. But really, and the big question mark, as it continues to be for the Canes then, is the defense. And again, they certainly put up a great effort, but just in general, an overall really good team performance in the 44-6 win last week.
It was a really good team performance by Penn. And if the score is a little bit deceiving, 44-6 could have been very different. Penn put up most of those points in the first quarter. They were playing reserves by the end of the first half, and I think they kind of took their foot off the gas a little bit in respect to the team they were playing. But it certainly could have gone much higher with that score. But what a great game to be a part of. The defense has improved a lot in the last couple of weeks. Thomas Wilson, Vinny Freeman, Wrigley Hall leading the team in tackles. Joey DePalma had a nice pick six last week.
Yep.
The defense has improved drastically the last 2 weeks since the loss at Mishawaka, and the offense has been a little bit harder to predict since week one. Kellen Watson put up some gaudy numbers that first week, and since then he's had some minimal rushing attempts. So, after that, it's been the Jadon Parker show. He's amassed 193 yards in 2 games, averaging 9.2 yards per carry and 5 touchdowns. The team welcomed Malachi Evans back last week. It was good to see him back in the backfield, and he ran well. Tayshawn Bardo continues to be Kellen Watson's top target. He's leading the team in receiving, 5 touchdowns so far this season. Penn's really coming along. It's been fun to watch.
And then the Matt Copsey, as we look at the defensive side of the ball, and Matt Lilliard made it perfectly. Of course, it was Joey DePalma. He found the end zone in that pick six, but also 2 forced fumbles. And really the other story was the fact that he only gave up those 3 first downs. And if I remember right, every single one came against the penalty. So needless to say is that the defense, they've only given up single-digit points in the last 2 games, with last week 2 weeks ago against Riley, and last week against Washington. Pete Reardon, a former defensive coordinator for just before being the head coach, he kind of wants to see that defense continue to improve at Task and Marian tonight.
Well, the first 2 weeks, the Valpo game, that was a track meet, and then the next week against Mishawaka, took it to them. And the last 2 weeks, Penn has gotten back where they want to play. They want to play that, be able to stop the run and defend the pass very well. The last 2 weeks, they've held, last week they held Washington to negative yards of offense. When it turned to Riley, it was like 160, 170 total yards. But that's the one thing about it is that they came out and they got the job done. Christian Bonner and Quinn Watson have done a great job on the ends. Those have been kind of their 2 stalwarts on defense. I know Matt mentioned the other guys as well, and that's the way Coach Reardon wants to do it. Coach Pete wants to get everybody involved. It doesn't want to be 1 or 2 guys. And when you were talking about the offense and what Kellen Watson did the first week, that was, I think what he's doing now is the way they had him designed to want to be. They want him to be a rollout quarterback. They want him to be a pass-first quarterback and then run second. I think it was just that first week, the way everything came about is that the opportunities were there and he took advantage of them.
And then Matt Lillard, as we get ready, we'll look at the Mishawaka Marian Knights. And when I mentioned it, we talked to Mike Davidson, who will get ready as soon as we finish up your comment, as we went one-on-one with him. And the overall performance for the Knights was very impressive, not just on the offensive side, but even the defensive side of the ball. I mean, a 27-0 win against their arch rival in South Bend St. Joe in the Holy were always one of the staple games in all of the Michiana part here. And I mean, 156 total yards given up offensively. And really, it was a story for just an overall effort. I mean, Lucas Marr, the junior quarterback who's getting the start tonight, 10 for 18 for 140 yards. And really, it was also the defense, very similar to a Penn. And that really, one of the big plays by far, is going to be big number 99 up front defensively. An interception, how about for 73 yards for a pick six? And so this is a Marian team. They started off 0-2, and they bounced back with two impressive performances with 2 weeks ago against Adams and last week against St. Joe. And they're going to really need that. I mean, they say third time's the charm, and they're going to really need that here tonight if they want to have a very daunting task in trying to take down the Kingsmen.
Yeah, last week was a gigantic win for the Marian Knights, taking down their rivals St. Joe in the Holy War 27-0. I think was surprising to a lot of people in the community, including their head coach Mike Davidson. I think he was expecting a closer contest than that. Right after St. Joe beat New Prairie, by the way, which was a huge win for the Huskies.
Mm-hmm.
Following the slow start to the season with Mishawaka and Culver, followed by big wins by Adams and St. Joe. They're a very senior-heavy team. They've got 8 seniors on defense. They've got 6 seniors on offense, and a lot of experience on both sides. This is going to be a closer game than they think.
Yeah.
Sorry, Matt. One thing real quick about this Marian team is Marian has had the lead in all 4 games at one point. They led Mishawaka 17-7 at the half before Mishawaka came out. They had the lead against Culver Academy late before Culver Academy scored with about 4 minutes to go to beat them 28-24. So this is a Marian team that can put points on the board. Their problem at times has been on the defensive end, giving up big plays. So that's one thing that, Coach Reardon is probably letting his guys know, and they've scored on big plays on offense as well.
And I'll agree. Penn better not sleep on these guys.
No, not at all. This is going to be a good contest. As I mentioned before, these are 2 of the 3 undefeated teams in conference play, so someone is getting their first loss in conference play.
And real quick, in 2020, the last time the Marian won, Penn had a 16-0 lead going into halftime. And Penn came back, and Marian came back and won 20-16.
I remember
vividly. That is going to be something we keep an eye on. We had a chance to go one-on-one with Mike Davidson, head coach of the Mishawaka Marian Knights, and I filed this report with the head coach for the Knights, Mike Davidson. Northern Indiana Conference football from here at Freed Field as the Mishawaka Marian Knights get ready to take on the Penn Kingsmen here on 91.1 FM The Globe. Tanner Camp, great to be here with Mike Davidson here for the Knights. Coach, great to get to catch up with you again. I remember doing your games last year, and an absolute pleasure to get to watch you guys and see the success continue for the Knights last week. Tell you what, say this personally, and I think it's true. I think best overall performance last week was the 27-0 win against your arch rival in South Bend St. Joseph. When you shut any team out, but especially like St. Joe, of that level, we know it's the Holy War. We know that is always there's one game that's marked in that red Sharpie. That is one of them. Just your overall thoughts on the big win against the Huskies.
Yeah, I thought defense came to play, sort of a duh statement, but defense really came up front. We limited them in their running game, and we knew we had the opportunity to do that, but to go out and execute, I thought our front 7 did a tremendous job. And then on the back end, they got some skill guys that, our corners and safeties did a great job passing stuff off and knocking the ball down, coming away with a few picks, turning the ball over, setting our offense up with a short field a lot, if not most of the night. And then, offensively, we had to cash some in. I would have liked to see that, but overall, all 3 phases did a tremendous job.
And I remember, Coach, I was looking for my cards when I did your games last year. And when I was changing player names, I didn't have to change a whole lot. You bring back a large number of players from last year, and whether it's guys like Deuce Owens, whether it's Lucas Marr, who was the backup in the quarterback spot, Brian Austin, Braxton Brooks. I mean, those are all really, really talented players. And I know it's off to a slower start at the beginning of the season, but you guys have picked it up right when you needed to as we're now about halfway through the regular season. Just tell us a little bit about that leadership that you have and just the number of guys that have come back. That's always got to be easy when you know there are guys who knows what it takes to win the big games and play in the big moments, that they can help, because eventually they're going to graduate and the younger group is going to take over. Just your thoughts on the upperclassmen and their maturity this year.
They've grown up a lot. I mean, most of those, I think we got 22 seniors. Most of them were getting way too many reps and starting as sophomores, and we took our lumps then. Last year we grew up quite a bit. And this year now they have that leadership role that you spoke of. And they've done a tremendous job. Braden Smith and Joe Boone on the defensive side really do a tremendous job over there. Gio Garcia, he's out, but he's like a coach on the sidelines the last couple of weeks. And really the skilled guys, Jack Darrell, Braxton Brooks, Deuce Owens, Brian Osmond, they got 2 years of experience. So that is what it is. Their leadership, when things might not be going the best, has been the best thing so far.
And then you talk about that defense a little bit. Obviously, Caleb Johnson, he had that really nice pick six that went all the way, and really the defense has been impressive at this point. I know that was a big point of emphasis for Coach Reardon when we talked to him earlier. So what are some of the things you've been most impressed with just in this season alone in the defense and how they've improved, especially getting the shutout against the Huskies last week?
Yeah, I think it starts with communication, and this is the most vocal, communicative, if that's a right word, or real word. I'm a math guy. It's certainly the most communicative it's been in the last couple of years. And when you got so many sophomores 2 years ago, that's sort of to be expected. Last year, even with a bunch of juniors that had gotten sophomore reps, still not quite as vocal. I got four guys every single play at practice, barking out the adjustments, barking out the calls. We have not had very communication errors, which that limits big plays. That limits missed assignments. It all starts there, and I think we've done a great job with it.
As you take a look at this Penn Kingsman group, they've been on a roll lately. They have not allowed many points over the last 2 weeks, and obviously both you guys undefeated in the conference. So a lot on the line here tonight is two of the three teams in the NIC who are undefeated are playing right here at Freed Field. So in order for the Knights to stay undefeated in conference play and go 3-2 overall, what do you have to do to win on the road?
It sounds very cliche, but take care of the football. Last week, no turnovers. We didn't cash in as much as I wanted to offensively, but we didn't turn the ball over. We can't do that against a great defense like this tonight, and an explosive offense. They got playmakers. Their quarterback is one of the fastest kids in the state. Number 1 or 4 on the outside. I don't remember. He's playmaker out there, and they can hand the ball off and hit you at any point in time. So defensively, we've got to contain them. We can't give up those big plays. And then win in the kick game, whether that's a turnover, whether that's a score. Could be as simple as, fair catching a football instead of letting it roll an extra 15 yards and winning the field position battle. But we've got to do those things to be successful tonight.
Always great to get to catch up with Mike Davidson in his 7th season with the Knights, 50-27 overall. And now we're going to flip the script and we're going to go one-on-one with Pete Reardon, the head coach here for the Penn Kingsmen. Penn High School football here on 91.1 FM The Globe and the Regional Radio Sports Network. Northern Indiana Conference matchup as the Penn Kings get ready to take on the Mishawaka Marian Knights here at Freed Field. Tanner Camp here with Pete Reardon for the Kingsmen. And coach, last week, convincing win, no problems last week against South Bend, Washington, 44-6 in a game that you really had a lot of different players, whether it was your number 1 player all the way down to your 5 or 6 and you're in your 2 deep. To tell you what, everyone really made some big contributions last week. What were some of the other factors in the win last week that you were most impressed with?
Well, I was really happy it was a team win. I think the seniors set the tone last week, and they came out in a very business-like attitude, took care of business against an opponent that has been struggling a little bit. No disrespect to Coach Johnson and the staff, but it is they've been struggling. Our team came out and did what we had hoped that they would do. Approached it in a very mature manner. Got in, took care of business, and then gave the opportunity for other guys to get in. Once those other guys got in, they took advantage of the opportunity. So we were happy for them, proud of the effort that the team made as a whole.
Hard to believe we're already halfway through the season. Hard to believe. I remember the announcement when you were first hired, and now here we are halfway through the season. So at this point, 3-1 undefeated in NIC play. So at this point in the season, would you say for the team, are you happy with where they're at? Do you think that they're ahead? They're where you're expected to be at? Like just from an overall perspective, how the team's been performing at this point, where do you see the Kingsmen at now that we're officially halfway through the season?
Well, hopefully we're not quite halfway through the season, but technically I know where you are. I know where you're coming from, but no, I think we need to continue to make progress. No coach is ever truly happy and happy with aspects of things, but at the same time, we still have work to do and progress to make. I think this is a good timing, for us against Marian. I think they're a very good football team. It's going to be a good test for us. They're undefeated in the conference as well. If we want to win a conference championship, we got to take care of business.
One player that I want to highlight is Tayshawn Bardo. He's been very clearly the number one wide receiver target for Kellen Watson at this point. And what I just like is he is always, when that ball's in the air, he is capable of making any grab. And he just always seems to, once he has that eyes locked on the ball, he does not keep his eyes off it. I mean, it takes a really good one-on-one defender in order to stop him. And just that confidence that he plays with. And just his junior year, and looking forward to seeing his progression throughout this season. Just talk a little bit about Tayshawn and some of the other aspects that you've been most impressed with at this point in the season.
Well, he does a great job going up and getting the ball. As you mentioned, if the ball's in the air, he's going to go up and get it. That's obviously a great attribute. That's an attribute that, college coaches like about him as well. He also runs very good routes. But the thing we've been most impressed with and been harping on him is his consistency with blocking. Getting out and lead blocking, whether it's on the punt return or for, Malachi or Jadon, in the run game. He's really done a nice job blocking downfield. And I think he thinks that's a part of the game that he could improve. And having an attitude like that where, hey, what else can I do to get better is a positive thing.
One of the things that's great is we talked about your assistant coaching staff on our broadcast throughout the whole season. You're just so blessed to have a bunch of great assistant coaches that have really kind of helped you as you're in your first year here. Just tell us a little bit about the importance of your assistant coaches and the role they bring, not just when it comes to calling out the plays or helping talk to your players when you've got about 100 things going on in your mind, but just the overall importance that they bring to your program.
Well, I said this when I got hired. Very fortunate to have a great staff, and the majority of those guys stayed on, which is huge. We were able to, with the health administration, bring in, Coley Moore from, who was a former player of ours, and that's been great for us. But also just, as you said, doing a lot of the little things behind the scenes that they, that all the coaches know that need to be done. As you can see behind me, getting set up and then running pregame and all those types of things that just take a lot of pressure off of me. And helps me, be able to focus on certain, aspects that I need to attend to, which is great. In addition, they're also great technicians of the game. They know their positions really, really well. A lot of them played it, at a very high level, both here, many of them here at Penn and beyond. And then they also have had the opportunity under, Coach Giesman for a few of them, and Coach Corey to have had the opportunity to, perfect their craft over a number of years. So we've got a lot of experience out here. And again, I'm very lucky to have that, and I know that I am, and want to continue to give them the opportunity to coach. I certainly don't want to lose any of them.
And finally, as we take a look at this Marian team, they're coming off, in my opinion, probably their most impressive win with the 27-0 shutout against South Bend St. Joe. And they put a lot of effort into that game. And so Mike Scoop coming off a real nice high, and they would have loved nothing more than to give you guys your first loss in conference play. But in order for the Kingsmen to protect your home field, what do you have to do to beat the Knights?
Well, I think we have to be physical up front. I think offensively we've got to take care of the ball. We've got to mix things up. I think they have a very good defensive front. They've tackled well in the secondary. So I think we need to be patient, control the ball, take care of the football. The big plays will come after a while. Defensively, we need to make sure that we can get off the field on third down. It's one of the issues we had earlier in the year, was not doing a very good job on third and mediums to get off the field. And at the same time, making sure we're not giving up a big play like we did before. Offensively, they've got a variety of weapons. Number of 3-year starters. Starting with the running back. With the Osmond kid, and then having 3 good receivers and a good tight end. So it's going to be a challenge. Our players know that, and we've been preaching that all week, and hopefully our players respond well.
Always great to get to talk with Pete Reardon again in his first season here with the Black and Gold. And he graduated from South Bend St. Joe back in 1996 and was a key starter on that 1995 state championship team. That was 14-0, of course, led by head coach Frank Amato. Spent 20 years as an assistant and most recently the defensive coordinator before being named just the 7th head coach in Penn football history back on March 20th in 2024. Now it's time to take a look at the Zolman Tire starting lineup. Once again, in 1963, Bud Zolman began working in the tire and automotive service industry. After many years of hard work and dedication, he and his wife, Diane, founded Zolman's Tires in 1978, over 45 years ago, under the leadership of their son, Nate Zolman. Zolman's Best One Tire and Auto now has 8 retail locations and 3 fleet locations, serving you and your family for 3 generations. Zolman's Best One Tire and Auto care. We'll start things off with the Gold Rush here for the Penn Kingsmen offense, and in that quarterback spot, going to still be number 3, the 6'3" senior in number 3, Kellen Watson. His line up front goes like this from the left tackle spot, number 78, Gavin McGee, number 65 in the right in the left guard spot, and A.J. Needham in the middle and handling the center duties as he has all season long. Number 59 and Aiden Deal in the right spot, going to be number 56, Pat Connery. And to the outside on that line, going to be number 71, Brody Brown. So once again, the Hogs up front for the Kingsmen, McGee, Needham, Deal, Connery, and Brown. The feature back is going to be getting this first start here throughout since early on in the season. Number 10 in Malachi Evans, the 6'2", 212-pound senior running back, but Jadon Parker still going to be someone we see. Coach Rudin made it clear that both are going to be getting a lot of touches throughout the course of tonight's contest. So for number 14, the 5'11 junior, Jadon Parker is going to also be one of the feature backs. And the receivers in the number 1, Tayshawn Barta, the 6'1 junior. Number 4, Cohen Turner, the 6'3", 172-pound senior. Also Jeremiah Mitchell, the 5'6 senior, and number 11. And the tight end, number 8, Cole Bennett, standing at 6'4 and 255 pounds for the junior. And the defense they go up against for the Mishawaka Marian Knights, the line up front, big number 99, standing at 6'2", 223 pounds. That's the senior in Caleb Johnson. Caden Lee, number 53, standing at 6'1", 273 pounds for the junior. Then Eric Logan, just to the left of him, jersey number 50 at the 6 foot and 252 pounds for the senior. Then Isaac Walton at 6'1", 210 pounds for the junior at 63. So once again, the line up front defensively for the Knights, Johnson, Lee, Logan, and Walton. In the middle in the 4-3 cover 4 defense here for the Knights is number 34 in Nicholas Quad, number 0 Joseph Boone, and number 22 Lucas Primrose. And finally in the secondary here for the Knights, number 4 Quinn Roan, number 6 Braden Smith, number 9 Mitch Thimble, and number 26 that's going to be Cooper Sooth. So that is the Penn offense going against the Mishawaka Marian defense. And as we flip the card and look here for the Mishawaka Marian, they're going to be under the controls of the 5'10", 178-pound junior in Lucas Marr and his line up front. Tell you what, some big names up front, and it starts in that left spot with number 69 Prescott Horvath. How about this, folks? 6'8" and 297 pounds in the junior. Got to imagine a number of the backs are going to be going to that left side of the line. Number 64, Mark Warbington at 5'10", 254 pounds for the senior. At the center spot at 5'8", 254 pounds in the junior, Preston Shue. Number 53, Caden Lee at 6'1", 273 pounds for the junior. And number 56, Doran Brooks at 6'1" and 236 pounds for the junior. So once again for the Knights line up front, Horvath, Warbington, Shue, Lee, and Brooks. The feature running back, number 2, Brian Osmond, standing at 5'5", 150-pound senior. Also one of the feature backs as well as receivers, number 3 in Braxton Brooks at 5'10", 189 pounds for the senior. And the feature receivers here in tonight's contest for the Knights, number 1, William, a.k.a. Deuce Owen, at 6'1", 200 pounds for the senior. Also Aiden Hansen at 5'10", 177 pounds for the senior. And it's going to be number 17, Jack DeRoll at 6'1", 168 pounds for the senior. That's the starting offense for Mike Davidson's Mishawaka Marian Knights. Meanwhile, it's time to meet the Wild Bunch here for the Penn defense. Up front, it has been a consistent line all year long. It goes like this. Number 98, Christian Bonner, 6'1", 221 pounds for the junior. Number 53, J.T. Seeger at 5'11", 220 pounds for the senior. Number 55, John White at 5'11", 202 pounds for the junior. And number 97, Quinn Watson. We called his name a lot this year at 6'2", 210 pounds for the junior. So once again, Bonner, that's Christian Bonner, not to be confused with Dominic Bonner from last year. J.T. Seeger, John White, and Quinn Watson, the line up front here for the Wild Bunch. Meanwhile, in the middle for Penn defense, number 42. So getting the start tonight is going to be Kenny Welsh, as on the start it is not going to be Jonathan Searfoss, not available here for tonight, but Kenny Welsh, no stranger to this Penn lineup. He's got 15 tackles for the 5'10 junior. Wilson Thomas in the middle at 5'11", 210 pounds for the senior. And Wrigley Hall in jersey number 34 at 5'11", 200 pounds for the junior. And meanwhile, in the back in the secondary here, they've been great all year long and continue to improve. Number 21, Colden Hernandez, the 5'10 junior. Number 7, Vinny Freeman, leading the team in tackles right now with 32 for the 5'11 junior. Joey DePalma, he had the pick 6 last week in the win against Washington at 5'10 and 160 pounds for number 23. And Peyton Horner leading the team in interceptions with 3 for jersey number 2 at the 5'9", 160-pound senior. So once again, that's the Marian offense going against the Penn defense, as the two teams now meeting in the middle and getting ready for the coin toss here. And of course, as we take a look now at our Flags International weather report here, of course, we want to remind you that tonight's Game Time weather report is presented by Flags International. Flags International offers Penn Kingsman flags alongside different kinds of American and international flags, sports flags, and flagpole installations through their website, flagsinternational.com, and at their retail location at 10845 McKinley Highway in Osceola. The phone number for Flags International is toll-free, 800-627-3524. And right now, 75 degrees, but it has been warm all day and probably still going to feel a little warm throughout the day with a wind coming from the southeast at 4 miles an hour. And Matt Kopsey, in addition, they've also got the coin toss. Yeah. We've also got our starting officials here for tonight.
Yeah, our officials for tonight. Penn won the toss, by the way. They converted the second half. Jeffrey Coggins, Mike Estelle, Kyle Keith, Trevor Medid, and Dino Speraldis are our officials. Some other games around the area tonight. Elsewhere in the NIC, New Prairie is at Elkhart, Adams is at St. Joe, Riley is at Washington. In the Northern Lakes Conference, Mishawaka at Goshen, Northwood at Northridge, Warsaw, big game over at Jake Field. They're taking on Concord, Wawasee at Plymouth. In the Indiana Northern State Conference, Freeman at Jimtown, Glenn, Knox, and Tippecanoe Valley and LaVille. And over in the Duneland Conference, Chesterton at Valparaiso, LaPorte at Lake Central, Michigan City at Maryville, and Portage at Crown Point.
So for the Marian Knights, their white uniforms, white pants as well, with the blue helmets and the Marian logo on the helmet. And for the Penn Kingsmen, black uniforms, black pants with those iconic Penn old gold helmets with Penn along the side. Dylan D'Addario back in his normal kickoff duties as he sends this one all the way to the end zone. So that's going to be a touchback now here for Dylan D'Addario. And so we're underway as Penn going to start off this first quarter going from right to left. And the Marian Knights will go from left to right here at Freed Field. Once again, Tanner Camp, Matt Lilliard, and Matt Copsey. Great to bring you week 5 of the Indiana high school football season as Lucas Marr, the junior, going to try to get the Knights off to a good start here as we kick off here. And again, D'Addario goes all the way back. So the Knights will start off their first drive of the night here at the 20-yard line.
I'm sure you guys would agree. It's good to see Dylan D'Addario kick that ball straight to the end zone on a line drive. His leg is obviously much better than it was last week. It's good to see the senior back on the field.
The good news, though, is obviously Harris Stipp did a phenomenal job last week. So 2 good kickers here for Coach Reardon's group. So Marr in the back here with Ozen. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, 5 linemen up front. Here comes the snap from Shu. Man in motion here for the Knights, and the ball is loose, and it's a free play, and everyone's scrambling for it, and the Kingsmen, they get it. So first play of the game, and it's a fumble recovery, and that's, how about this, Kenny Welsh. He was going to get the start tonight, and he has just picked up his first fumble recovery. So 1 play, and the Kingsmen going to be at the 1-yard line to start their first play offensively.
Yeah, what a start for the Kingsmen. I mean, they get the ball back to no fault of their say. They were running a sweep play to the left side of the field. He went to turn to pitch the ball to the running back, and the running back wasn't there. He threw it to an empty backfield, and they're lucky that didn't end up in the end zone.
And the toss was to Braden Smith, and the Knights just could not put that play in motion. And so ball actually now going to be spotted at the 3-yard line. So Kellen Watson, the Kingsmen, they have 4 downs to try to get the score here unless they go for 3. So now 1 receiver to the right, Watson. He's got Parker in the back. The handoff for Parker, and he is going to get eaten up. But there is some laundry out on the field. The initial tackle by Eric Logan. But there is a flag on the far side. Only 9 seconds gone by. We've already had many, many things happen early on in the game.
Looks like they're waving off the flag.
And
Nope. They're not waving it off. False start.
And unfortunately, we've seen the Kingsmen get a couple of these penalties throughout the season. And so,
well, both teams starting off with a miscue. I'm sure the coaches would like to see this cleaned up fast.
And so that is going to push the Kingsmen back 5 yards. So it's now still going to stay first and goal, but now the Kingsmen are going to need 8 yards if they want to put up the first 6 in this game. So 20 seconds gone by. Kellen Watson, quarterback here for the Kingsmen all season. 1 receiver to the left, 1 to the right. Jadon Parker, the feature back. And Niall Bennett also, he's on that left side of the line. Watson, the handoff here to Parker. Parker, and he's going to get eaten alive once again, but he stays on his feet, but it's going to be brought down to the 15-yard line. The forward process is going to keep Parker right around the 8-yard line. Probably no gain there for Jadon Parker. So second and goal, 8 yards still before the end zone in this scoreless opening quarter.
Yeah, that forward progress counts in this sport because he ended up about 5 yards in the backfield by the time he actually was counted down on a dive play right off the right side of the line. Penn's offensive line is going to have to pick this up a little bit if they're going to gain yards on the ground. 2
receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Once again, Jadon Parker going to be the feature back here with Watson. Over a minute gone by already after Marian fumbled the ball and Penn started inside of the 5, trying to get back on the right track. Now Watson keeps his eyes up, looking for the end zone, and who else but his favorite target this year, number 1, Tayshawn Bardo, his 6th. And after a minute and 25 seconds have gone by, the Penn Kingsmen start out up 6-0 here against the Mishawaka Marian Knights, pending the PAT.
It's hard to believe Tayshawn Bardo is only a junior. We've been watching him the last couple of years make these kind of plays. He was double covered on that play and ran a slant to the left side of the line. and wide open right underneath the coverage. Great route by Tayshawn Bardo, and Kellen Watson delivered the ball right on time.
Good toss for Kellen Watson, and on the year for Kellen Watson, that is now his 6th, 7th passing touchdown. Dylan Daddario on the PAT here, trying to connect. The hold from Broker. The ball is up. The ball is through. 12 for 12 on the year for Dylan Daddario, and the Kingsmen start out after a wild minute and 25 seconds. But before we go anywhere, unfortunately, we have a player down right now here for the Knights.
Looks like number 50.
And so if that's number 50, that's going to be Eric Logan. He is one of the starting defensive linemen here for the Knights, and he has been a big part up front as Mike Davidson immediately out onto the field to check in on one of his starting linemen. This was right after the PAT was good from Daddario. So the clock has already stopped at 10:35. Penn leads 7-0, but Eric Logan currently down right now.
Technically, it's a 3-yard drive, 2 plays. Took a minute and 19 seconds off the clock, but it's an 8-yard touchdown pass from Watson to Bardo.
And so Logan is he's under his own power, not getting any help, has a little bit of almost like a hopscotch, like a little hop there. So certainly hope that he's okay.
Regional Radio Sports Network and 91.1 FM The Globe. I want to thank Clover Machinery Movers, 3521 North Home Street in Mishawaka, for underwriting a portion of tonight's game. Serving the industry since 1948, Clover Machinery Movers is fully equipped and insured with machinery moving, rigging, and hauling. They can move one machine or relocate an entire plant, and they also offer customers heated storage facilities. Their phone number is 574-255-3195, and they're on the web at clovermachinerymovers.com.
So Dylan Daddario getting ready to kick off from right to left here for the Kingsmen. The feature kick returner for the Knights is going to be Braxton Brooks. Averages about 16 yards per return this season, but going up against an elite kicker in Daddario as this ball is high, and this ball going to be right around the 2-yard line. So the return here for Brooks at the 20, breaks through a couple defenders, and he's still got some space and working to the outside before being dragged down from behind by Dylan Daddario. So the kicker ends up making the big play, and that is a solid return right there for Braxton Brooks. He started right around the 2-yard line, and it looks like they're going to spot him based off where we see the officials. It looks like they're going to put this ball between the 35 and the 40. And so with 10:27 left, the Knights going to turn off in a good field position. So that was a pickup of about 36 right there. So good return that time for Braxton Brooks.
Well, Braxton Brooks is an experienced player for the Knights. He's a senior. He's gotten playing time the last 2 years in a row. Last year, he had quite a few receptions and a couple touchdowns. He's a talented player. He's a guy that Penn's going to have a guy for.
The Marian Knights trying to get off to a better start than that opening drive when they only had one play. That was for the fumble. No receivers to the left, 3 to the right. Once again, Osmond in the back with Marr. Now Osmond works to the right and tries to inch his way to the 40 to try to pick up 2, and he's going to do just that. So the 5'5 senior and Brian Osmond picks up 2 on the run, making it 2nd and 8, ball at the 40-yard line. Approaching 2 minutes gone by. Penn leads 7-0 early in this game.
And Osmond's another one of those players for the Knights, a senior who's gotten a lot of playing time the last 3 years. He's racked up a lot of rushing yards. Penn has their hands full with the running game tonight.
2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Osmond in the back with Marr once again, and he has trouble holding on to this ball, and Marr just has to fall on top of the football. He's going to end up losing about 10 there, maybe 9. It looks like just 9. Ball to the 31-yard line, and so a couple snaps early in this game, and the Knights just having a little trouble holding on to the football. We had some rain, but nothing extremely major or anything that would seem to affect at this point in the game. 3rd and 7, ball at the 31-yard line. So under 10 minutes to go. Marr now in the back. He's got to throw. 3 receivers to the left with the right hand. Wants the home run ball going deep, and that's going to be caught by one of the Marian players who's out of bounds, so an incomplete pass. And so the Knights going to have to just head out to the field and head out.
That was a pass to Jack Dyrol. He was running a deep flag pattern to the left side of the field. He threw it out of bounds on purpose. There was great coverage in the Kingsman secondary on that play.
It's going to be number 13, Mason Simonowski, who's going to be set to punt here for the Knights. And on the year for Simonowski, 30 yards per punt. The feature backs here for the punt return going to be Tayshawn Bardo and Peyton Horner. So once again, Marian Knights going from left to right, and the Kingsmen going from right to left. So we'll see for Simonowski as this ball is high. Doesn't get very deep, just going to barely get past the 50. And ball's going to stay in play, and it looks like that's going to roll out of bounds right around the 46-yard line. So the Kingsmen going to have a pretty good field position early on in this game. 9 minutes and 9 seconds left. The Gold Rush ready to try to make this a two-score game.
23-yard punt, no return.
On a punt like that doesn't go very far, teammates are supposed to be yelling out to notify their other teammates that
get away.
Get away. That ball's going to bounce, and it might hit one of your own players, and you don't want that to happen on a special teams punt play because the ball can go the other way pretty easily. And it came really close on that one.
Three receivers to the left for the Kingsmen, none to the right. And it looks like it's going to be Malachi Evans now in the back here with Kellen Watson. So the handoff now for Evans, works to the outside to right and muscling his way forward and getting a couple extra. We saw Malachi Evans get a couple plays last week, and he looked good on that run there. Going to be a pickup of about 7 there, making it 2nd and 3. Ball well past the 50, going to be at the 47-yard line.
We talked a little bit about this last week. Getting Malachi Evans back, he has a bit of a different running style than Jadon Parker does. It's thunder and lightning in the backfield for Penn this year.
So 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Evans still in the back here with Watson. 7-0 in favor of Penn and trying to increase this lead in this NIC battle. Handoff for Evans, works to the out, has an opening, and he is wrapped up nicely that time. It's Braden Smith. I won't say a touchdown saving tackle, but definitely a big gain tackle that prevents anywhere going. It's still going to move the chains and be a first down here for the Kingsmen. As a reminder, tonight's Kingsmen first downs are brought to you by Chris Neal State Farm Insurance with their location at 1602 East State Road in Mishawaka. You can reach them for a quote today at 574-255-2900.
And Malachi Evans bounced that play outside. It was a dive play off the left tackle. There wasn't anything there. He bounced it outside and made a nice gain.
It's a 4-yard pickup that time for Evans. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Evans once again in the back. Watson fakes the handoff. Now the look for his tight end, and that one way too high and to the right. So the incomplete pass stops the clock at 7:57. Penn still leads 7-0, but it makes it 2nd and 10. Ball to the 43-yard line.
Nicholas Quiet from Marian had great pressure on that play. He definitely was in Kellen Watson's face when he threw that ball, and I think that's a little bit why it was off target.
I think he just wanted to get rid of it before he saw him coming.
Now, there aren't many defensive linemen that are going to chase down Kellen Watson, but he was close on that play.
It's 1 receiver to the left, 1 to the right, 2 tight ends, and there's going to be some flag, and there's going to be some movement, and I got to think that's going to go
encroachment on Marian
against the Knights. And so that's going to move the chains just a bit, and how about 5 yards that time? So it's going to make it 2nd and 5. Ball now at the 48-yard line here with under 8 minutes to go. The Gold Rush trying to pick up another first down. So ball now at the 38-yard line. So 1 receiver to the left, 1 to the right. Once again, 2 tight ends now here for the Kingsmen. Evans, the feature back with Watson looking to his line up front. Deal with the snap. Handoff here for Evans. Stumbles a bit, but once again muscling his way forward, and that's going to be close. I think he's going to be just maybe a yard short. But it's going to be a pickup of 4 that time for Evans. So it's going to be 3rd and 1. Ball to 34-yard line. Evans has looked good out there so far.
Yeah, Malachi Evans runs really hard. He carried at least 2 or 3 Marian Knights with him for a yard or 2 at the end of that dive play. It's nice to see him back in the Penn backfield contributing to this offense.
So a little over 7 minutes left in the first quarter. Penn leads 7-0. Trying to put on 6 more. 1 receiver to the left, 1 to the right. Evans in the back. Bennett moves from the left part of the line to the Watson on the run to Evans, and now he's got an opening and breaks by 1, breaks by 2, and he is going to be tumbled away inside the red zone. That's going to be a first down for the Penn Kingsman, Malachi Evans. Ball was at the 34-yard line, and they're going to mark this one at the 11, so make that a 23-yard gain for Malachi Evans. Once again, all Kingsmen first downs brought to you by Chris Neal State Farm Insurance with their location at 1602 East State Road in Mishawaka. You can reach them for a quote today at 574-255-2900.
Whether it's Malachi Evans or Jadon Parker toting the rock for the Kingsmen, you don't want either one of those guys in your secondary. You're in trouble if they make it that far.
So ball at the 11-yard line. So the Kingsmen could get a first down without having to score. 1 receiver to the left, 2 to the right. Evans still in the back with Watson. Watt's going to keep this ball himself, and he's got an opening. Works to the outside, and he is going to be brought down on the primary tackle that time. It looks like that's going to be number 26 in Cooper Seuss, the 5'7", 141-pound senior.
Yeah, anybody that doesn't play the quarterback sweep for Kellen Watson didn't watch game tape against Valparaiso. You have to defend against that as an opponent of Kingman. And I think a lot of teams are already keying on that.
It looks like a pickup of about 3 here for Watson. Ball inside of the 10 at the 8-yard line. So pickup of 3 for Watson. One receiver to the left, one to the right. Evans still in the back. Bennett moves from the left line to the right. Now Watson going to keep the ball himself, keeping his eyes up, but he's not going to have much room, and he is going to be pushed out of bounds. A swarm of Knights that time. It's going to be Eric Logan and also Nicholas Quiet who make the initial tackle. So now the clock stops at 5:36, and Watts going to lose a couple that time. Good job for the Marian pressure up front. It's going to be 3rd and long.
Yeah, that was a similar play to the play they ran before. It was a quarterback keeper, designed run play for the quarterback. Like I said, I think a lot of teams are going to be keying on this with the success they had against Valparaiso. Nobody wants a quarterback running for 300 yards on them like he did against Valpo.
It's going to make it 3rd and 14, ball at the 15. Keep in mind the Kingsmen can still get the first down if they get it to the 1-yard line without having to score. And so it looks like we're going to have a timeout on the field, and it's going to be taken by the Penn Kingsmen. And so a timeout taken here. That's the first of 3 for Pete Reardon in the first half. And that gives us a chance to thank a couple of our great friends, and that includes over at A's Event Rental.
Regional Radio Sports Network wants to thank the Sharp family at A's Event Rentals, 805 West Edison Road in Mishawaka, for their terrific support of student-athletes over the years. Serving the community for 53 years, their phone number is 574-256-1110, and they're on the web at agesrental.com.
Tonight's broadcast is being underwritten by our friends at Cubit Networks. Located at 103 Polk Street in LaPorte, Cubit Networks takes pride in helping keep their customers happy for all their technology needs. More information can be found on their website at cubitnet.com or by phone at 219-369.
Now, you brought up a point earlier about with Ryan Watson. Mishawaka showed the blueprint on how to stop it when they were able to get their ends out to the sides to do that. And that's what Marian did a good job of on that last play.
3rd and 14 for the Kingsmen. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. And Evans in the back here with Watson. Clock stopped at 5:36, 7-0 in favor of Penn. Watson now keeping his eyes up, going to tuck this ball himself and try to work to the outside. He could still throw. He's going to look for the end zone, and that ball going to be just short. The look that time looks like it was for number 11 and Noah Moore, I believe. So Moore, check out Jeremiah Mitchell, excuse me. So Mitchell, as the ball was thrown just short by Watson. So the incomplete pass for Watson with 5:26 on the clock, and it looks like Coach Reardon not going to take any chances. He is going to send out the field goal unit, as it's going to be Dylan DeDario. Again, Oliver
32-yard attempt here.
Oliver Broker is going to be his holder, and the short snapper will be Aiden Deal. So this to make it a 10-0 lead here for the Kingsmen. The snap, the hold, and that ball is blocked, and that ball going to end up in the end zone. So Dylan DeDario has yet to hit a field goal this year, and that ball gets blocked by the Marian Knights. And so 5:21 left here in this first quarter. 7-0 still in favor of Penn here at Freed Field. Let's take a 60-second timeout. We'll come back with the Marian offense here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
For 30 years, the Lilliard Insurance Agency has been a proud sponsor of local sports in Michiana. The Lilliard Insurance Agency is an independent insurance provider which offers its customers auto, home, business, life, and health insurance. They're located at 410 Lincoln Way West in Osceola. For more information, the phone number is 574-674-0015, and their website is realvalueins.com. That's REALVALUEINS.com.
Beef O'Brady's is a locally owned, family-operated restaurant designed for food and sports, featuring appetizers, wraps, pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and wings. Beef O'Brady's also broadcasts televised sporting events. The State Road 23 Granger location has carry-out service and includes a party room and outside patio. More information is available on their website, beefobradys.com, or by calling 574-271-1415. Again, that's 574-271-1415. Beef O'Brady's. Good food, good sports.
So Lucas Barr was sacked on that last play, so a loss of 5 for the Knights. 2nd and 15, ball to 15-yard line, under 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Marr now tosses this ball up high. Ball is up and in the air, and it's intercepted by the Wild Bunch. And who else but the leading interceptor? That's going to be for the Penn Kingsmen, Peyton Horner, his team-leading 4th interception on the year. Marr was looking to the near side in front of the Penn bench. Peyton Horner slaps the ball up in the air, and he makes the grab, his 4th interception on the year, and it gives the Kingsmen the ball right back to Wild Bunch, playing some good defense here tonight.
Guys, I don't know about you, but that was one of the most athletic plays I've seen in a high school football game in a long time, let alone one of the most athletic plays to make an interception. He jumped in front of that receiver, tipped the ball in the air, and caught it behind the receiver going down to the ground. What a play.
Now, Peyton Horner, he's been impressive all year long in the secondary. He gets his 4th interception. So now that makes it two good jobs for the Kingsmen on the defensive side of the ball. So ball at the 39-yard line, 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Evans in the back here with Watson. Handoff here. Check that. It's actually Jadon Parker who is going to start on this drive here. And so he is going to work his way to the 35-yard line. So that's going to be a pickup of 4 that time for Jadon Parker. Under 4.5 minutes left in this first quarter. Penn 7, Marian 0. And really the MVP in this first quarter has been the Wild Bunch.
Yeah, no doubt. They are playing inspired defense against these Marian Knights. We talked about it before the game started. We thought this would be a bit of a shootout between these two teams, but the Wild Bunch is holding strong so far.
2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Once again, Jadon Parker in the back here with Watson. 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Now the snap from Deal. Watson drops back, takes 2 steps, works to the outside. He's got some space, tosses with the right, and was looking right in between Bennett and Bardo, but neither was open that time. So under 4 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Penn 7 and Mishawaka Marian doing a reminder when it comes to the kickoff, field goals, and extra points. The Kingston Special Teams are sponsored by the Specialized Investment Team at Guidance Wealth. Build, protect, prosper on the web at guidancewealth.com.
I think we're in 4-down territory here, so you got 2 downs basically to get to 6 yards.
So the potential for a run on 3rd down is what you're saying.
Yes.
1 receiver to the left, 3 to the right. Jadon Parker in the back with Watson. Ball that snapped low, and Watson able to pick it up in time, and he's going to toss this one, and that ball going to be just short. At that time, trying to find Bardo once again, a low snap rated deal, and Kellen Watson showing true frustration. You could tell just could not get a good toss that time after the low snap.
Based on these little miscues that keep happening with the snap, it makes me wonder if that field is still a little wet from earlier tonight. That ball's getting a little bit wet, and it's hard to handle when it gets slippery like that. You know, footballs don't have a lot of tack to them naturally, so once they get a little slippery, it's a problem.
So the Kingsmen are 33%. They're 1 for 3 in 4th down conversions this year. Looking for their second one. They got to get to past the 30-yard line in order to get the first down. 1 to the left, 2 to the right. And Parker is in motion. Watson looking up, looks to the right side, and he has got Mitchell. And that's going to be enough for the Penn Kingsmen first down. Remember, all Penn Kingsmen first down brought to you by Chris Neal State Farm Insurance at their location at 1602 East Bay Road in Mishawaka. You can reach them for a quote today at 574-255-2900.
Yeah, junior Jeremiah Mitchell, the wide receiver for the Kingsmen, ran a really nice stop route on the far side of the field. It was wide open. Yeah, there wasn't anybody within 5 yards of him on that play.
16 yards. Jeremiah Mitchell has not gotten a lot of action from the receiver spot, but that is probably already his biggest reception, which is his only reception right now. But now the Kingsmen in the red zone, 1st and 10, ball at the 19-yard line with over 3 minutes left in the first quarter. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Jadon Parker still in the back with Watson, and Parker now going to work his way up and going to get to about the 15-yard line. So Parker that time going to get a pickup of about 4, and with about 3 minutes left, it'll be 2nd and 7 here for the Kingsmen.
We talk about Mitchell not getting the ball a whole lot in the first couple games of the year. Tayshawn Bardo's gobbled up a lot of those targets so far. And if you're not putting 2 guys on Tayshawn Bardo, you're making a mistake. So it's going to leave other receivers open. It's smart for Penn to give these guys some shots.
So 1 to the left, 1 to the right. Bennett on the left side of that line right now. Parker in the back. A handoff here for Parker. He shields, bounces off 1 defender, but is not going to bounce off the second one. That's Lucas Primrose, who also is the punter here for the night. He's going to make the tackle that time. He's got 16 tackles coming into today's contest. And so with under 2.5 minutes left, that's going to be a loss of 2 that time here for Jadon Parker. Makes it 3rd and 8. Ball out at the 18-yard line here in the first quarter.
And Marian seems to be dead set on making Penn one-dimensional in this game. They are loading up the box, and they are playing the run. And I don't blame them because Penn's got a couple of good running backs that if you're not playing that hard, they're going to gash you.
For the Gold Rush, 52% on the 3rd down conversions this year. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Bennett on that right side of the line right now. Jadon Parker in the back with Watson. Bardo and Mitchell on the left here for the Kingsmen. And now Watson, and he's got that ball deflected. And a good job up front. Once again, Eric Logan, good to see him back out onto the field. So the incomplete pass with 1:47 left in this first quarter, 4th and 8. And it looks like Dylan DeDario going to go for take 2 here. And it looks like the Kingsmen are going to elect for the field goal.
That's going to be a 34-yard attempt.
Yeah, let these guys redeem themselves. Take another shot at a field goal. Let them get their good feelings back a little bit. It's not a bad call here by the coaching staff.
The Kingsmen Special Teams are sponsored by the Specialized Investment Team at Guidance Wealth. Build, protect, prosper on the web at guidancewealth.com. Once again, Oliver Broker going to be the holder. The snap, the hold, the kick. This ball is up. This one, it is good. The first field goal this season hit, and it's going to be Dylan DeDario from 34 yards out. And the Kingsmen increased their lead 10-0 with a $1:43 left here in the first quarter. Let's take another 60-second timeout, and we'll get ready for the Penn kickoff as they lead by 10 against the Mishawaka Marian Knights. Tanner Camp, Matt Lilliard, and Matt Copsey back after 60 here on 91.1 The Globe and the Regional Radio Sports Network.
For 30 years, the Lilliard Insurance Agency has been a proud sponsor of local sports in Michiana. The Lilliard Insurance Agency is an independent insurance provider which offers its customers auto, home, business, life, and health insurance. They're located at 410 Lincoln Way West in Osceola. For more information, the phone number is 574-674-0015, and their website is realvalueins.com. That's REALVALUEINS.com.
The 2024 Indiana Football Digest is now available for online order at indianafootballdigest.com. This year's digest is packed to the brim not only with stats and scores, but in-depth and detailed analysis on each Indiana High School Athletic Association team. It also features a section on Indiana collegiate football and quotes from coaches from all around the state, giving readers an inside look at Indiana high school football. The 2024 Indiana Football Digest is available online at indianafootballdigest.com.
10-0 the score in favor of Penn as Dylan DeDario ready to kick from right to left here to the Knights, and it's going to be Braxton Brooks. He had a good return on his first time, and so this ball going to be inside of the 5, right at the 2, and he looks to the near side on his right, and he's going to stay on his feet and stay in bounds. And before being eaten up alive by the Kingsmen, ball going to be spotted. It looks like at the 32-yard line. So the Knights, unfortunately, a couple bad snaps and a little bit of a slippery football right now due to the early rain. Again, fortunately, no rain as of right now. We're going to knock on wood from behind us and hope that doesn't happen. But really, for the maybe they're scoring coming from Matt Copsey, but really that's been a factor. But Copsey, you got that scoring after the field goal made for DeDario.
Yeah, 8 plays, 22 yards, took 2 minutes and 52 seconds off the clock for DeDario's field goal on 34 yards.
And that field goal was a beautiful kick, by the way.
So Lucas Marr and the Knights trying to put together some offense. They've shown a couple of bright spots, but got to find a way to string together a couple more Easy plays. 3 receivers to the left, none to the right. Offman in the back with Marr. Clean handoff, and Offman eating alive up front once again. A wild bunch doing big things. Looks like that's JT Seeger and Wrigley Hall. Wrigley Hall, he's been impressive in the middle. Currently third on the team right now with 24 tackles, and that big hit against Osman is going to not really go much. Going to be a pickup of 1 for Osman with just a little over a minute left, 2nd and 9.
Wrigley Hall did a great job on that play, not biting on the counter action on the run. He stayed in his position and made the tackle.
2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Once again, Osman in the back with Lucas Farr. 60 seconds remaining in the first quarter. A little bit of confusion as Brooks man in motion now, just to the outside of the line. Now Marr dropping back, takes a step, going to keep this ball for himself. Keep his eyes up and through the hands that time. Not a bad look for Aiden Hansen, but slips through the hands of Hansen. Makes it 3rd and 9. Clock stopped at 47.2, and a big 3rd down opportunity here for the Knights.
Yeah, Hansen found the hole in the defense a little bit too late for that play to be executed well. But a well-designed play by Marian. The Penn pass rush was really what disrupted that and kept it from being successful.
Once again, Mike Davidson against Penn, 1-3 against the Kingsmen, and trying to get that second win and stay undefeated in NIC play. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Osman in the back. Once again, here with Marr, man in motion as Brooks works to the outside, tries to find the middle, and gets the catch that time for Deuce Owens. And check out, that's actually Aiden Hansen. So Hansen able to make the grab, but it's not going to be enough for the first down. And it looks like that ball is going to be spotted at the 37-yard line. So pick up a 5 that time, makes it 4th and 4. And the Knights could let the clock run if they wanted to. With it 4th and 5. The Knights right now looks like they may just let the clock run out here in this first quarter. Coach Davidson might get a little bit more time for the decision. You got to think about punting the football, but don't want to get down too early. But with 6 seconds left, and both teams are going to head over to their respective sidelines. And so at the end of the first quarter, the Penn Kingsmen lead over the Mishawaka Marian Knights by a score of 10-0 as we get ready for the second quarter. Thanks to our friend Eric Gunther at State Farm Insurance. We'll be back after the 60-second timeout. Tanner Cam, Matt Lillard, and Matt Coffey from here at Everwise Freed Field. Penn 10, Marian 0. Back after the 60-second timeout on 91.1 FM, the Globe, globeradio.org, and RRFN.com audio.
Did you know there's a place right here in Michiana that provides comfort and care for families of sick or injured children? Ronald McDonald House Charities of Michiana gives families everything they need, whether it's a hot shower, a comfortable bed, or a home-cooked meal. This allows parents to truly prioritize the health and well-being of their child. Because of people in this community just like you, RMHC Michiana provides their services at zero cost to the families. Find out how you can volunteer or donate to rmhcmichiana.org.
For 30 years, the Lilliard Insurance Agency has been a proud sponsor of local sports in Michiana. The Lilliard Insurance Agency is an independent insurance provider which offers its customers auto, home, business, life, and health insurance. They're located at 410 Lincoln Way West in Osceola. For more information, the phone number is 574-674-0015, and their website is realvalueins.com. That's REALVALUEINS.com.
So the Marian offense still on the field, and with 4th and 5, they're going to go for this. They got to get to at least the 42-yard line in order to pick up the first down.
It could be a play where they might try to draw them off and then take the 5-yard penalty and kick.
Yeah, good call, Matt. I was thinking the exact same thing.
Marian does have all 3 timeouts, so we'll see what they decide to do. 20 seconds on the play clock, Marr. He's got Hoffman in the back, drops back, looks to the outside, and tries to find a roll, but an incomplete pass, and the Wild Bunch shuts down the Marian offense and are going to get great field position as Penn leads 10-0, only 3 seconds into the second quarter. Pete Reardon very happy with that stop for the Kingsmen.
Yeah, same thing that happened on the last pass play for Marian. They had a guy open. The roll was open on the out pattern on the far side of the field, but the Wild Bunch pass rush is just disrupting his throw every time he drops back to pass.
And the Wild Bunch defense, they've been improving each and every single week, and against the Marian Knights team that had an impressive 27-point performance against South Bend St. Joe. Right now, good early signs here for the Kingsmen. They move from left to right now, 1 receiver on the left, 1 on the right. Evans in the back here with Watson. Bennett in motion to the right side of the line. Now that fake handoff here, and the look for Bardo, and he makes the reception and brought down immediately. That tackle that time by Cooper Sooth. And once again, first down for the Kingsmen, but there is going to be a flag after the play, it looks like. And so it's going to be a first down.
An eligible receiver downfield.
And unfortunately, that's going to bring that first down back.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to have a chunk play like that called back. Penn seems to make up for it quite a bit of the time. One of the things you mentioned earlier, Tanner, was that Coach Davidson for the Marian Knights has a record of 1-3 versus the Kingsmen. There are a heck of a lot of head coaches in this area that would love to have that record versus Penn.
And so the ball's going to go all the way back to the 42-yard line. So still first down for the Kingsmen, but instead of moving the chains, they moved it from the Kingsmen further back. First and 15, ball to 42. No receivers to the left, 3 to the right. Evans still in the back on the left here with Watson. Watson now on that first end in Penn here at the midfield stripe. Looks to the outside for Bardo. Only has 1 blocker, and he's going to be able to evade about 3 different Knights and work his way forward to about, looks like the 42-yard, the 38-yard line. So going to be a pickup of 4, make it 2nd and 11. Only about 45 seconds gone by in the second quarter. Penn leads 10-0 here in this very important Northern Indiana Conference game.
That was a bubble screen play to Tayshawn Bardo. You know, they covered it really well, the Marian Knights did. But he picked his way through a couple of those tackles and made a gain. That was all Tayshawn Bardo on that play.
So 2nd and 11. Check the 2nd and 12. No receivers to the left. 3 on the right. Handoff now here for Evans, and he is met up front. And the Knights, Evans is going to pick up a couple that time, but immediately contact was made. It was number 51 that time. It was Seth Herzeder. who made the initial tackle. And so ball going to be at the 37-yard line. So the Kingsmen essentially right back where they were, 3rd and 10 after the two-yard pickup for Evans. So it's under 10 and a half minutes remaining before halftime. The Kingsmen lead 10-0, but looking to pick up the first down here. No receivers to the left, 2 to the right again. Evans, the feature back here for Watson. Watson now, snap from Deal. This ball is high, able to maintain for the most part. Keeps his eyes up, looking towards the middle of the field. Ball deflected, and the look that time was for Tayshawn Bartow, who slipped on his turf, and Braden Smith might have gotten tangled up as well, but he is not able to make the grab. So it's an incomplete pass with 10 minutes and 5 seconds remaining, and it looks like Coach Reardon not going to take any chances, and it's going to have to be a high and short punt here for Dylan D'Addario.
Kellen Watson had Tayshawn Bartow open on that play. He was running a deep in pattern and cleared the defense. Kellen just seems a little bit off on his throws tonight, and I wonder if it has something to do with the wet football, like we're having trouble with these snaps.
So Braxton Brooks is the back right now in terms of the return. Dylan D'Addario on the punt, 37. This ball is high, doing exactly what he needs to, and this ball going to take a bounce at the 10 and not going to roll much further. Still a solid punt that time for Dylan D'Addario. Backs up the Knights. They're going to start on their own 10-yard line here in their first drive in the second quarter. That gives us a chance to thank some more of our great friends, including the Beeler Law Office.
The Beeler Law Office is located at 3430 Bremen Highway in Mishawaka, next to the 331 Myers store. Attorney Ray Beeler has been practicing law since 2001. Is in a 1980 Penn High School graduate. She offers her clients estate planning, including power of attorneys, wills and living wills, probate administration, bankruptcy, business guardianship, and other family law services. The phone number for Beeler Law Office in Mishawaka is 888-633-1361.
The Marian Knights offense, again, they're going from right to left from our vantage point here at Everwise Freed Field. So Lucas Marr and the Knights trying to string together some offense here. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Osmond in the back with Marr. Now the toss back here to Osmond, trying to work to the outside on a couple blockers, and not going to get much that time. It's a great speed that time. That's number 23, Joey DePalma. He's also had a nice year at this point here for the Wild Bunch, so Osmond not going to get much that time. But it is still going to be a pickup, it looks like, of about maybe 3 on the play.
Yeah, starting off the season, this defense was a little bit inexperienced, and you could see it against Valpo. But you've seen every week they've improved. They're playing pretty sound Wild Bunch defense. Penn has a lot to be proud of with this. 2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right, Hanson the man in motion. Now Marr going to keep the football himself after the fake, and now back to the outside, and it's going to work nearly out of bounds. And so that's going to go to the outside. And actually taking a look out there that time here for the Knights. And my apologies on that. That was actually number 4. They went with Quinn Roan on the direct snap that time. So number 4, Quinn Roan on the pickup of 2 that time. Makes it 3rd and 6, ball at the 14-yard line. This is why we got the binoculars, folks, to make sure we can clearly see. So Quinn Roan right now in place for Lucas Marr. And so Quinn Roan now 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right, empty backfield, and immediately throws this ball to the outside, and not going to be enough for the Knights. It makes you wonder if Lucas Marr might be a little bit dinged up.
And so on the reception, number 17 is going to be Jack Roll on the reception. Not going to be enough for the first down, and it's going to be a pickup of 3 that time here for the Knights. But got a punt here in this situation, so once again, we're going to see Mason Simonowski punt this football away. And once again, the backs to return this punt here for the Kings are going to be Tayshawn Bartow and Peyton Horner.
Guys, I'm impressed with how this Wild Bunch defense is playing so far today.
No question about it. The defense has improved and made the plays when they've needed to. And right now against this Marian team, doing just that. Ball is high for Simonowski, and it's going to take a very, very good bounce. It's ended up bouncing right around the 42-yard line on the Knight side, and now that ball on the Penn side, offensive side of territory, and so ball's now going to be at the 35-yard line. So a great punt for Mason Simonowski.
That ball rolled as far as it did go in the air.
47-yard punt, no return.
Good punt that time, and as a reminder, our coverage of Penn High School sports on the Regional Radio Sports Network is presented by our friends at Harrison Sons Construction. For over a decade, Harrison Sons Construction have offered full-service remodeling and construction. Projects include kitchen and bathroom and interior home remodeling. In addition, Harrison Sons Construction also offers roofing, siding, and interior and exterior painting. For more information on the services of Harrison Sons Construction, the phone number is 574-514-2104. Penn, once again, left to right, ball to the 36-yard line. 1 receiver to the left, no one to the right. And in the back is going to be Jadon Parker. Watson now going to keep the football himself. He's got a couple blockers trying to work back to his right. And he's got a blocker in Bartow now back to the outside and going to try to get to the 45. But he is hit with heavy contact that time, making the tackle. That's going to be number 4 for the Knights. And that is going to be Quinn Roan on the big tackle. Good piece of tackling, but Kellen Watson still going to get a pickup of 8 that time. Good decision for the senior to work to the other side and check that. It's going to be 7. So 2nd and 3 as in the Kingsmen 3 away from a first down.
He was running that quarterback sweep to the wide side of the field, switched directions. And there was one thing that Coach Pete said about Tayshawn Bartow before the game is he wanted to see him improve his blocking. On that play, I think Coach Pete will be very proud. He did a great job blocking out in front of Kellen.
2 receivers to the left, the handoff for Jadon Parker. He's got his face in front, and now he's to the 40, down to the 35. Breaks from the tackle, and he is going to see nothing but the goal end zone. That's a touchdown for Jadon Parker.
What a great start for Penn in this game. I thought it was going to be a little bit closer in the first half than this, but Penn is playing some very inspired football right now. And again, this combination of Malachi Evans and Jadon Parker is going to be hard to stop.
So Jadon Parker, after the big rushing touchdown, his 6th of the year, puts the Kingsmen up 16-0, pending the PAT from Dylan D'Addario.
I'm pretty sure we've mentioned how fast Jadon Parker is in a couple of broadcasts, right?
Oh,
that guy has some wheels.
On more than one occasion. Once he broke free from that tackle attempt by Lucas Primrose, there was nobody stopping him. So chance for the Kingsmen to make it 17-0. The snap will hold from Broker. Ball is up, and it is good. 17-0 in favor of Penn. The offense looking good, the defense looking good. Pete Reardon's got to be a happy camper right now. We'll be back after the 60-second timeout for the Penn kickoff right here on 91.1 FM The Globe and the Regional Radio Sports Network. Back after 60.
For 30 years, the Lilliard Insurance Agency has been a proud sponsor of local sports in Michiana. The Lilliard Insurance Agency is an independent insurance provider which offers its customers auto, home, business, life, and health insurance. They're located at 410 Lincoln Way West in Osceola. For more information, the phone number is 574-674-0015, and their website is realvalueins.com. That's RealValueins.com.
Live from Beef O'Brady's in Granger, it's the Coach's Box every Thursday night at 6 on 91.1 The Globe, hosted by Indiana Hall of Fame broadcaster Paul Condry. The Coach's Box features in-depth interviews with high school and collegiate level athletes from all around the region. Get the inside scoop from coaches and get a good look at the behind-the-scenes world of Indiana athletics. Tune into the Coach's Box, once again live every Thursday at 6 on 91.1 The Globe.
58 yards for Jadon Parker. He was a receiver a couple weeks ago and he still catch the football, but he has been great on the ground this year. Makes it 17-0 here for the Black and Gold. And after the kickoff for Dario, ball return now here for the Knights. Ball right at the 10-yard line and breaking through a couple tackles. That's Deuce Owens that time. Put him on a dance floor because he's got moves there. So at the 10-yard line, going to be a nice pickup that time. Looks like close to the 30-yard line. Looks like they'll spot him at the 29-yard line. So a return of about 19 for senior Deuce Owens. So the Marian offense trying to string together something. Again, they've had a couple really nice looks from Osmond and a couple nice catches from the receivers, but got to find a way to string together some offense. They trail 17-0 with 6:45 remaining before halftime.
Well, Marian has some really talented skill position players. They're just having trouble getting the ball into their hands so far in this game.
2 plays, 65 yards. It took 54 seconds off the clock.
And so it looks like now going to be a new quarterback for Lucas Mares. It's going to be, looks like number 9 from what we see. It's going to be Mitch Fimble. So Fimble now on the toss to the outside, and the catch is made by Braxton Brooks, and the Wild Bunch just absolutely eat alive Brooks that time. So Quinn Watson on the initial tackle. The line up front just having their way right now.
You know, I mentioned right before the last play they're having trouble getting the ball into their playmakers' hands. And when you're having trouble, sometimes it means that you got to get it to them behind the line of scrimmage to get it in their hands, and that is not working for Marian so far.
It's a loss of 4 after the reception from Brooks. Makes it 2nd and 14, ball at the 25-yard line as the clock continues to roll. Pass to the outside. The nice one, Brooks again, as he gets by one tackle, stays on his feet, cuts back to the inside, and he has got nothing but grass in front. He's at the 30, the 20, the 15, and that is going to be a touchdown for the Mishawaka Marian Knights, a 75-yard touchdown. And it's going to be number 3, Braxton Brooks, on the reception. So a 75-yard touchdown for Braxton Brooks. And the Marian Knights right back in this game. And for Braxton Brooks, that's his longest touchdown on the year. But there is a flag on the far side. And it's going to be a sideline warning for the Knights. So the score will stay as it is, pending the point after touchdown. And Matt Lillier, once Brooks, very similar to Jadon Parker, once he broke free, he's got some wheels on him.
He sure does. And that was a similar play design to the play before. It was a bubble screen to the wide receiver. This time he had a little more green in front of him than he did the play before.
So as we await the PAT here for number 22, Lucas Primrose, the 5'8", 179-pound senior. As the holder here is going to be here for the Knights, Simon Nowski. So now the snap, the hold, high snap, and that ball is up, and it is good for Lucas Primrose. And with 5:55, thanks to a 75-yard touchdown reception for Braxton Brooks. 17-7 here in favor of Penn, but Marian not going away just yet. We'll keep it right here and give us a chance to thank some more of our great friends, including McDonald Physical Therapy and Sports Rehabilitation Center, with 2 locations at 1005 Hickory Road in South Bend and in St. Leo Hall on the campus of Notre Dame. Offers physical therapy treatments, including Alter G treadmill, blood flow restriction, and water therapy. McDonald Physical Therapy and Sports Rehab Center's phone number is 574-233-5754, and they are on the web at mcdonaldpt.com. And also want to give a chance to thank Ivy Tech Community College. Ivy Tech programs are made to prepare students for great careers in high-paid, high-demand jobs. In fact, Ivy Tech students earn more on average with a 2-year degree. Find the program then for advancing you towards your career quickly and affordably, in person, online, and in between. Enrollment is open for an October 21st start. Visit ivytech.edu/apply. 17-7 in favor of Penn, but Mishawaka Marian not going away just yet. As they'll get ready to kick this ball off, it's going to be Lucas Primrose kicking from right to left here towards the Kingsmen.
2 plays, 71 yards. It took 50 seconds off the clock, and that was Marian's first down of the game as well.
Yeah, that was really big for the Knights. They needed that score to stay in this game, and they delivered when they needed to.
And so this football takes a bounce inside of the 2, and it's going to end up going back into the Kingsman end zone. So that will be a touchback. And so 5:55 left. The Kingsmen will start on their own 20-yard line, working from left to right, trying to get that lead back. They still lead by 10, but Marian, let's see if the defense can play like they did last week against the Huskies.
Yeah, Coach Pete, with 5 minutes and 55 seconds left, would love nothing more than to eat up all of this clock and score at the end of the half.
Could you get 2 for 1 then? Could you get the ball to start the second half?
Very Bill Belichickian.
Keep in mind for the Kingsmen, they've got 2 timeouts remaining. For the Knights, they do have all 3.
Is that a term, Bill Belichickian?
I think it can be in this case. You can coin the term if you want. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. The handoff now here for Evans. Works to the outside and not going to get much that time. And on the initial tackle that time, number 22 here for the Knights. And on that initial tackle, that's Lucas Primrose. So based off the spot, Looks like a gain of 4 that time here for Malachi Evans. So 2nd and 6, ball now, the 24-yard line with 5.5 minutes to play. Penn leads 17-7.
That was that stretch play to the right side of the field. Penn's been running a lot in the last couple of weeks and having a lot of success with.
2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Evans in the back here with Watson, waiting for the snap from Deal. Deal on the snap, Watson looking out to his right, and he is going to have to get rid of the football. Ball is loose, working towards the end zone, but they're going to say that it is an incomplete pass at Watson. And so on the tackle was Caleb Johnson. And they're going to say that it was a touchdown.
That ball sat there for 10 seconds before someone picked it up.
For 10 seconds, the Kingsmen and even the Knights, everybody had thought.
Oh, my gosh.
Everybody had thought that it was a pickup that time.
I was about to say they're lucky we don't have instant replay on this because that could have been one of those empty hand throws that get counted as fumbles. And I think they counted it as a fumble.
And it's going to be number 50 by technicality, so it's going to be Eric Logan who gets the fumble recovery and the touchdown. He is the Knight who picked up the football. And so after the Kingsmen had led, and so they're going to get some clarification. Right now the scoreboard does show 17-13.
The thing is, the quarterback, could he have not been in the grass, which would have blown the play dead? There's a possibility that he's asking if he was in the grass, which means that the referee, the play would stop, and the play would have been blown dead where he was at.
And so currently right now it says 5 minutes and 7 seconds left on the scoreboard. Penn 17, Marian 13.
They're going to change the call.
And I think they're going to, looks like they're changing the call. The Penn offense is now back on the field, and Matt Lilliard, you talk about a huge turn of events.
Oh, my gosh.
No matter what happens the rest of this night, this by far is the biggest moment, maybe not just right now, but even no matter what happens the rest of this game. So they're going to take those 6 points off of the board, so Eric Logan does not get the score.
It looks like they're going to blow him dead where he was in the grass. I think that's what it's going to be.
I mean, it's still a loss on the play, but Penn is definitely dodging a bullet.
Okay, now they can't decide where they're going to put the ball. It originally was at the 24.
That's where the initial drive had started.
Wow.
So it looks like they're going to spot him based off that. Looks like right around the 20-yard line. So high snap for Watson. Now Parker works to the outside. There is a flag on the play, but Parker's still running to the outside, and he's going to be stepped out of bounds. But there is about 3 different flags all over the field.
And it's in the area of holding. Yeah, it's a hold.
So it's going to be, again, 3 different flags out onto the field. 1 in the spot of holding, but then 2 other flags out on the far side.
The question is, what down was it when they did? Did they say it was 3rd down?
According to what the marker had, it said 2nd down.
So my guess,
and they're declining the play.
My guess is that they must have called a 5-yard penalty on Penn and came to, because it was at the 19, so it was at the 24. So that would have made it 2nd and 11.
So this now, and after the penalty, it was on Penn, and so we're going to be holding to a 10-yard penalty. Now going to push the Kingsmen back and make it 2nd and 20.
So it should be back at the 9.
So it's at the 10. It's in that rough spot and everything. So 2nd and 20, ball at the 10-yard line. Now the Kingsman Parker works back to the outside, gets by 1 blocker, trying to find an opening, works to the outside again, and gets well past the 25-yard line. And there is going to be a flag, and it is a firework of flags. As on the play, 2 different Knights push Jadon Parker, and it was well after the play. And so that penalty is going to go against the Knights, and that's the last thing Mike Davidson's group needed at this point in the ball game.
Unfortunate penalty for Penn.
Absolutely. It was already going to be close, maybe even a first down that time.
He needed to get to the 34.
He was very close, probably even got
it. 30. He needed to get to the 30, so it depends.
He was close. Jadon Parker in space is impressive.
And so with the penalty against the Knights, that's going to be a first down here for the Kingsmen. Ball now at the 44-yard line. Here with 4:51 left in the second quarter. 2 receivers to the left. Watson now drops back, keeping his eyes up, looking deep, trying to find Parker. Bardo goes up, and there's going to be a flag. That one you knew as soon as contact was made, and that's going to be a pass interference against Cooper Seuss.
And got a little jawing going on down on the field.
So pass interference once again on number 26, Cooper Seuss. And as Matt Lilliard said, there's been a little bit of barking going back and forth between the two teams. 17-7 the score with 4 minutes and 44 seconds left.
So it should be at the Marian 41.
That's one way of keeping Sayshawn Bardo from catching the pass, that's for sure. I think he would have had that if he wasn't interfered with. He's good on high point balls, and that was right where he is catching a lot of them. So
ball's going to be now at the Marian 41. Again, 4:16 going from left to right with 4 minutes and 44 seconds left. And there is going to be a timeout, and Marian's going to take their first timeout. So we have had a wild sequence over the last 3 to 4 minutes, and that all is here in the second quarter. Once again, thanks to Eric Gunther State Farm for sponsoring for the second quarter. That gives us a chance to thank some more of our great friends here that make it possible for us to get the broadcast. And one of
Regional Radio Sports Network at 91.1 FM, the Global, to thank Clover Machinery Movers, 3521 North Home Street in Mishawaka, for underwriting a portion of tonight's game. Serving the industry since 1948, Clover Machinery Movers is fully equipped and insured for machinery moving, rigging, and hauling. They can move one machine or relocate an entire plant, and they also offer their customers heated storage facilities. Their phone number is 574-255-3195, and they're on the web at clovermachinerymovers.com.
The Regional Radio Sports Network thanks Cubit Networks for their support of high school and college athletics. Since 1986, Cubit Networks is focused on providing a quality experience to their customers. They take computer security seriously and have the necessary tools to keep your digital assets and environment safe. They are located at 103 Polk Street in LaPorte, and their phone number is 219-369-4357.
Now Parker stays on his feet, breaks by one tackle, and going to try to lunge his way to the 31-yard line, and if they give it, they're going to move the chains, and it looks like they are going to do that. So a 10-yard pickup that time for Jadon Parker, and no, it looks like they're going to spot him about an inch short.
That is really close.
And there's one official did make, and no, it looks like they are going to give the first down. They're moving the chains on the far side. So the 10-yard pickup that time for Jadon Parker makes it 1st and 10 ball before the 31-yard line. So one receiver to the left, one to the right. Parker in the back with Kellen Watson. Watson on the handoff to Parker, works to the outside, spins back to his left, but is going nowhere that time. That's Lucas Primrose on the initial tackle. So that'll be a pickup of 3 that time here for Parker. The ball will be at the 27-yard line, so 2nd and 7 here with under 4 minutes to go. Penn leads 17-7. 1 point this game we thought was 17-13, but a call that said that Watson was down instead of a Marian score has completely changed the complexity of this game. No receivers to the left, 2 to the right, and there's a couple Knights that are moving, and I think they're going to get this penalty against the Knights, and they are going to do just that. So 5-yard penalty now going against the Knights, makes it 2nd and 2. Ball inside the 25.
Now, Penn dodged a huge swing in momentum by that not being counted as a touchdown. And we're seeing it on the field right now. Marion's a little bit rattled. We've had at least 3 penalties on this drive against the Knights. It could have been very different.
So 2nd and 2 for the Kingsmen. Ball at the 23-yard line. They lead 17-7, trying to put up some more. Jadon Parker works his way up the middle, breaks by a couple, and nearly had an opening and is going to muscle his way forward, taking a page out of the Malachi Evans textbook. They're going to pick up a gain of 13 that time, making it 1st and goal here for the Kingsmen. And as a reminder, that tonight's Kingsmen's first downs are brought to you by Chris Neal State Farm Insurance at their location at 1602 East Day Road in Mishawaka. You can reach them for a quote today at 574-255-2900.
That last run play was right behind the middle of that offensive line. Pat Connery, Aiden Deal, and A.J. Needham moved that defensive line down the field about 10 yards, and Jadon Parker just slid in right behind him.
So Cohen Wysong now on the tackle, but unfortunately his first rush of the night, and he is going to get muffled his way by Eric Logan, and there was a little bit of contact afterwards, and now there's some jolly continuing as Cohen Wysong, after the initial tackle, Eric Logan, and he almost kind of kept him down. There was a flag thrown.
Senior right tackle Brody Brown took exception to that defensive player laying on his running back a little bit too long, and I think that's what the penalty was on, holding that running back down. Penn's a little bit lucky they didn't call, a personal foul on Brody Brown too, but understandable taking care of your running back.
Yeah, Mike Davidson having a discussion right now, the head coach for the Knights, with the officials, and they're going to get a personal foul. And so it's going to go against.
That's 2. The second one, that should be a penalty. That's a 5-yard penalty.
And so that is what it is. So it's going to be a sideline warning after the initial play. So the Kingsmen, again, get to move the chains once again.
So you like to see that. Your offensive linemen take care of your field position players.
And it looks like ball's going to be at the 5-yard line. Or check out, they're going to put the 7-yard line, So
okay,
1st and goal. Wysong works his way up the middle again. So Cohen Wysong, the 5'6" sophomore, picks up a couple. And so it's going to be 3rd down and 4.
We saw Wysong break out against the Riley Wildcats 2 weeks ago. An impressive running sophomore.
So we're going to see a couple new Kingsmen check into the contest, including, looks like number
62, Charlie Henning, just came into the game playing right guard.
So 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. 3rd and goal, ball at the 4-yard line. Kellen Watson, he's got Cohen Wysong to his left. High snap, Watson keeps the ball himself, looks to the right side of the end zone. Ball is up, and Tayshawn Bardo, 1 foot in, and a second receiving touchdown on the night. That's for the Kingsmen, makes it 23-7. Tayshawn Bardo.
I'm still waiting to see someone in the NIC cover Tayshawn Bardo. We haven't seen it yet this season. He's getting a lot of looks from colleges.
Tayshawn
for sure.
And only a junior, standing at 6'1". He's got better hands than a clock, and makes it 1:50 remaining in the second quarter. Penn leads 23-7, pending the PAT here for D'Addario.
I've never heard that one, Tanner. Better hands than a clock. Good.
Thank you. Well, that one goes to Dad on that one, as he taught me some of the phrases. So 23-7 in favor of Penn, pending the PAT. The snap, the hold, D'Addario. It's up, and it is good. 1:50 left. Penn is able to put 6 more up on the board. 7 plus the PAT makes it 24-7 here with $1:50 left in the second quarter. We'll be right back after the 60-second timeout here from Everwise Freed Field. Tanner Cam, Matt Compsey, and Matt Lilliard here on 91.1 The Globe and the Regional Radio Sports Network.
The 2024 Indiana Football Digest is now available for online order at indianafootballdigest.com. This year's digest is packed to the brim not only with stats and scores, but in-depth and detailed analysis on each Indiana High School Athletic Association team. It also features a section on Indiana collegiate football and quotes from coaches from all around the state, giving readers an inside look at Indiana high school football. The 2024 Indiana Football Digest is available online at indianafootballdigest.com.
Eric Gunther and State Farm Insurance are proud to underwrite a portion of tonight's game on the Regional Radio Sports Network. Eric's office is located at 356 South Michigan Street in South Bend. Under State Farm Insurance Agency, Eric offers auto and health insurance, as well as financial services. For more information on these or other products that State Farm offers, Eric can be reached at 574-291-1597. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Darius punt, or kick, and that is returned inside of the 10, and still on his feet to the far side on the return. That was Quinn Roan. He started right around the 9-yard line, and a good return, well past the 25-yard, and it looks like they're going to spot him right around the 29-yard line, So return to 20.
Great tackle by Wilson Thomas on that play. Not only does he play good middle linebacker, but he's also a stalwart on special teams.
8 plays, 80 yards. It took 4 minutes and 5 seconds off the clock.
And Tayshawn Bardo, 2 receiving scores here tonight, and he has been impressive as we have seen. So now he has got, in this case, he has got 7 scores on the year from the receiving spot. 2 receivers on the left, 2 on the right for Marian. And so now dropping back here for the Knights. Eyes up and the look, and this is going to be, they're going to say caught, as again it was Mitch Fimble on the pass.
Deuce Owens on the catch.
Ball's at the 27-yard line, and they're going to spot this ball. Now it looks like right at the 39-yard line, so pick up a 12 that time for Deuce Owen. Once again, Mitch Fimble starting at quarterback. So Lucas Marr, we certainly hope he's going to be able to play, but right now, Fimble going to try to finish out this drive before halftime. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Fimble drops back, and he's just going to toss this ball, and almost caught by one of the Penn bench players in this case. So again, in case you're tuning in, 1:17 left in the second quarter. Penn leads 24-7 here against the Mishawaka Marian Knights, and we have seen about a little bit of everything, and we're not even through the first half of play.
Yeah, Marian continues to have trouble in the passing game because of Penn's pass rush. They're having a lot of trouble slowing down that front four.
1:17 left in the second quarter. No receivers to the left. 3 to the right here for Fimble. Osmond, the feature back. Fimble drops back, going to keep the ball for himself. Has a hole up the middle, and he's going to work his way close to the first down marker. Going to be just short after the tackle from Kenny Welsh.
That was a great play design by Marian. They faked the bubble screen.
Oh, and it looks like there is going to be a timeout taken by the Marian Knights to try to save some clock.
Yeah, they faked the bubble screen to the right. QB keeper going the other direction. Penn bid on the bubble screen. Nice game for Marian.
That gives us a chance after the timeout for Marian to thank a couple more of our friends. Our coverage of Penn High School sports on the Regional Radio Sports Network is presented by our friends at Harrison Sons Construction. For over a decade, Harrison Sons Construction have offered full-service remodeling and construction. Projects include kitchen, bathroom, and interior home remodeling. In addition, Harrison Sons Construction also offers roofing, siding, and interior and exterior painting. For more information on the services of Harrison Sons Construction, the phone number is 574-514-2104. 63 seconds left before halftime. Marian's only got 1 timeout remaining, and they trail 24-7. Penn, the Wild Bunch right now, trying to make another big stop as they have done all night long. No receivers to the right, 3 to the left. Fimble drops back, keeping his eyes up, looking to the near side. Deuce Owens on the grab, and he tries to break free, but a touchdown-saving tackle for Joey DePalma, and it really looked more so like he was holding on to that foot by Deuce Owens, and so it's going to be a first down for the Knights, and they move the chains.
Yeah, he grabbed his leg and held on for dear life because Deuce Owens had nothing in front of him. That would have been a touchdown for sure if he wouldn't have held on. Great tackle by Joey DePalma.
So now Fimble in the back, and he is nearly swarmed. He's just going to throw this football up in the air, and that's going to be an incomplete pass that stops the clock at 41-7 here with the Knights trailing 24-7. Coach Davidson will have nothing more than to see the Knights get a score before heading to the halftime locker room.
Now, that last play, they blitzed Wilson Thomas right up the middle. He and Quinn Watson had great pressure on the quarterback.
By the way, that reception from Owen, based off the quick math, 36 yards from Fimble to Deuce Owen. Once again, for Mitch Fimble, the 5'11", 168-pound junior. He's 9 of 13 in the pass department for 120 yards and 3 scores on the year. So the junior quarterback looking to help the Knights get a score. 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Man in motion that time here for the Knights. Fimble dropping back, looking right towards the middle. That time caught in an open space, and that time caught by, looks like number 11. That's going to be Terrence Lane here for the Knights. So with 35.4 seconds left, and after the pickup of 17 for Lane, number 11, with 35.4 after the chains have moved. The Knights are on the move. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. And so it's going to be a spike that time for Mitch Fimble. So the Knights going to try to save that 1 timeout that they have. 31.2 seconds left. Gives us a chance to thank some great friends, including the Beeler Law Office.
The Beeler Law Office is located at 3430 Bremen Highway in Mishawaka, next to the 331 Meyer store. Attorney Ray Beeler has been practicing law since 2001 and is a 1980 Penn High School graduate. She offers her clients estate planning, including power of attorneys, wills and living wills, probate administration, bankruptcy, business, guardianship, and other family law services. The phone number for the Beeler Law Office in Mishawaka is 888-633-1361.
2 to the left, 2 to the right. Brooks in motion, moves to the right. So now 3 receivers on the right. Now Fimble, that ball is blocked in the air, and it is going to be caught by one of the offensive linemen. And it looks like it's going to be number 52 for the Marian Knights.
Braxton Tingle. That's every offensive lineman's dream, by the way, guys. It's not often you get the ball in your hands as an offensive lineman, let alone record a reception. We have another timeout.
And the Marian Knights will call a timeout. It's their final timeout of the quarter as they couldn't spike the football. So a loss of 1 that time. So it makes it 3rd and 11 with 23.3 seconds left. Keep in mind, Lucas Primrose would be the scheduled kicker for the field goal if Mike Davidson, at this point, if you're the Knights. 3 points is better than no points, and now with no timeouts, got to be expecting past any type of run unless the Knights would be running and trying to get the ball to spike with 23.3 seconds left.
Yeah, getting a score here for Marian would be key to them continuing to stay in this game.
So the Wild Bunch back out and onto the field. And now the Marian Knights, once again, Mitch Fimble, who's starting as Lucas Marr, not playing for the majority of the second quarter. Osmond is the feature back. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. So we await the snap here from Preston Shue. Brooks in motion to the right. Now Thimble has a little trouble at first, and he loses the football, and he has to pick this ball up himself, trying to escape and evade, but he is going nowhere, and it's going to be big number 97, Quinn Watson, on the tackle. And so with 10 seconds left, the Knights trying to get something quick. Maybe they can't spike it, so one more final play, 3 seconds left, and they did spike the football. So it's a 4th down.
That's just an experience thing for their quarterback. He doesn't have a lot of experience in the backfield for this Marian team, and spiking the ball on 4th down just shows a little bit of that.
And then Pete Reardon going to use a timeout to maybe get one final play, maybe 2, depending on what Watson can do.
Or did he call it before that play happened?
We'll take a look to see right now.
I think they're going to say he called that timeout before that play happened.
That's not a bad decision, so we'll take a look. And so right now with 3.2 seconds left, 24-7 in favor of Penn after the big play that time, and tackle for loss again for Quinn Watson. Makes it 4-28. Ball's currently right now at the 35-yard line. And the Knights essentially have to get it well inside the 10, close to the 5 in order to pick up the first down. And even then, got to be the first down.
Prevent defense for the Kingsmen.
And you are correct, Matt Lilliard. It looks like Pete Reardon called a timeout before the 4th down. So Marian could be the final play before halftime. 3 receivers to the left, 4 back, nearly to the 20 here for the Wild Bunch. Osmond alone back, but again, got to be anticipating a run. They initially put 25 seconds on the game clock. I think they meant to put 25 on the play clock, though. And so they're going to put 7 seconds on the game clock here. So we'll see what the Knights decide to do.
Yeah, Penn has 4 defensive backs, really deep, almost playing this like a punt.
So once again, now Mitch Fimble. You got Osmond behind. 7 seconds left. They're going to play the clock. The ball is thrown, looking for the end zone, and that's going to be intercepted by the Wild Bunch. Joey DePalma, he's got some space in front, and he is going to be brought down that time. Number 11, Terrence Lane, and that is how the first half is going to end. So a couple interceptions for the Penn Kingsmen. And so at the end of our first half of play, the Penn Kingsmen lead over the Mishawaka Marian Knights by a score of 24-7. We're going to come back after this 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we got a special guest. We're not going to spoil any surprises. We'll bring on our special guest here at halftime at Everwise Freed Field as the Penn Kingsmen lead 24-7 here against the Mishawaka Marian Knights. Tanner Camp, Matt Copsey, and Matt Lillier here from Everwise Freed Field back after this 2-minute timeout. We'll send things back to Cormac Kuplitsky as soon as we come back after this 2-minute timeout here on 91.1 FM The Globe and the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Beef O'Brady's is a locally owned, family-operated restaurant designed for food and sports, featuring appetizers, wraps, pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and wings. Beef O'Brady's also broadcasts televised sporting events. The State Road 23 Granger location has carry-out service and includes a party room and outside patio. More information is available on their website, beefobradys.com, or by calling 574-271-1415. Again, that's 574-271-1415. Beef O'Brady's. Good food, good sports.
Did you know there's a place right here in Michiana that provides comfort and care for families of sick or injured children? Ronald McDonald House Charities of Michiana gives families everything they need, whether it's a hot shower, a comfortable bed, or a home-cooked meal. This allows parents to truly prioritize the health and well-being of their child. Because of people in this community just like you, RMHC Michiana provides their services at zero cost to the families. Find out how you can volunteer or donate to rmhcmichiana.org.
The 2024 Indiana Football Digest is now available for online order at indianafootballdigest.com. This year's digest is packed to the brim not only with stats and scores, but in-depth and detailed analysis on each Indiana High School Athletic Association team. It also features a section on Indiana collegiate football and quotes from coaches from all around the state, giving readers an inside look at Indiana high school football. The 2024 Indiana Football Digest is available online at indianafootballdigest.com.
For 30 years, the Lilliard Insurance Agency has been a proud sponsor of local sports in Michiana. The Lilliard Insurance Agency is an independent insurance provider which offers its customers auto, home, business, life, and health insurance. They are located at 410 Lincoln Way West in Osceola. For more information, the phone number is 574-674-0015, and their website is realvalueins.com. That's REALVALUEINS.com.
Welcome you back here to halftime here from Everwise Freed Field. The Penn Kingsmen up 24-7 against the Mishawaka Marian Knights in the Northern Indiana Conference battle. Once again, Tanner Camp, Matt Lillier, and Matt Compton. One of the great parts about this gig is when you get to meet some of the great student athletes. I'm certainly blessed that we get to have Annika Gunther here, member of the Penn girls soccer team, and having an absolutely standout career right now in the great success. Annika, first and foremost, appreciate you taking some time to come up here. And of course, we kind of have a little familiarity as your dad, Eric Gunther, one of our sponsors for the second quarter. And so, but as always, appreciate getting a chance to catch up with you here at halftime.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
And so, Annika, tell you what, this is your senior year. I remember what it was like. We just talked before that when I went to Fort Wayne Canterbury, and when it's your senior year, plain and simple, and you're going to have a great future in front. You know that you're at least going to school somewhere for college soccer, and you know at this point that you want to at least take the moment. I know you're enjoying every single moment right now. So at this point in the season, regardless of the play, and I know wins are always great, a lot of goals and assists, but in terms of the season, are you enjoying your senior year right now?
Yes, I am having so much fun. I think, you just really have to take in every single moment and not take anything for granted because, you never know when it's gone. So just being a good teammate for everyone and being a big leader is my most important role. So.
And you have a big expectation, of course, the last name when it comes to your dad and your mom. Of course, your dad played football at Illinois, and then, of course, your mom was a swimmer at Illinois, and, of course, your dad ended up playing in the NFL. And then, of course, I mean, your uncle even as well when it comes to Ron, of course, was football and also the athletic director at University of Illinois.
Yeah.
So you know that there's a lot of pressure with that, and certainly you've exceeded that. Anytime I look at the Penn Sports Update, I always see Annika Gunther goal, Annika Gunther assist, or the full four goals, which we'll get to here in just a moment. But does that ever come with a little bit of pressure when you know that you have to represent that name well, but certainly from what I've seen, you are doing that and even exceeding it more?
No, yeah, it's definitely been, I think, more of like my junior and senior year, it was more pressure. My parents definitely, they were just so supportive, and they've obviously pushed me, but they've been extremely helpful and always just wanted me to be my best. So, yeah, obviously you have to kind of live up to that role a little bit. But, you know, they've been just so supportive, and I couldn't think of any better parents.
Well, they're great. They're great sports. Of course, always love when we get to talk to Eric, and whether it's myself or Paul Condry, just an absolutely great figure in that case. And I tell you what, obviously, I remember your process of going through different schools. You want to make sure that you go somewhere where you're going to be able to succeed academically. It's well above the athletic. I know that's an important part. The soccer part is very big too. And I remember for me when I chose Goshen College, it's because I know that academically I knew I was going to be set for success once my playing career was over. So when you've been looking at these schools and really thinking, what are some of the key things when it comes to what you're looking for in a school? Again, I know the soccer part's great. I know you want to have a great career in that regard, and I can say the same thing. But in terms of when you look at it, what are some of the things that you look for when it comes to what you look for in a school?
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely the college decision is a huge role in your life that you have to huge decision to make. But I think that choosing a school that's going to be best fit for like your lifestyle, but also just like the school part, you have to pick a school where you're going to enjoy that part, because you never know if you either have an injury or setbacks, or you know you just don't enjoy that sport anymore. You got to pick the college that's best fit for you, and I think the atmosphere around you, because you know you're influenced by everyone. So just picking that college where you play your academics and your future beyond your sport is very important.
You're also so blessed, and I've been the same way. When you have great teammates, that just makes the overall experience absolutely incredible. I mean, you have made memories that are going to last you for a lifetime, and especially when you make more in college. Tell us a little bit about the impact that your teammates have made on you. I mean, these are friendships that will literally last with you for the rest of your life, and they play such a vital part, not just in terms of on the pitch, but off the pitch. You guys will stay in touch forever.
No, yes. I mean, going into high school, I was not very social. I was homeschooled throughout my whole career, whole school until high school. So it was definitely difficult. But you know, meeting new people, getting out there, and especially sports help. But you know, having teammates that you just see every single day, it's not just a teammate anymore. It's your family. So what we say is always, you go out on that field and you play for your 24, 23 sisters who are out there. Especially the coaches impact us all. So I think that just encouragement and support every single day. I mean, we do so many team bonding things, but it's so much more than that. And all these friendships for me, I know that I don't want to just have these friendships in high school, but beyond that. So just making that impact, but also making an impact for the younger girls, so that they can also be successful.
And as we give you a wrap up here, you mentioned those younger girls, and it's kind of hard to believe. I mean, I can relate to you. In fact, you remember when you're younger, those high school players, they are literally your role models, and certainly a lot of great young little girls that are looking up to you right now and looking to you as a role model. When it comes to any player who's they're getting ready to take eventually over your role here to get ready to graduate, what's the biggest piece of advice that you give to a future Penn girls soccer player on what it takes to be a successful Kingsman?
No, I think that the play is not as important as the person you are. So whether you're on the field, whether you're off the field, just support everyone. Be the greatest role model you can, but also don't take anything for granted, because you know you never know what can happen. We just had an injury on our team, and you know we never thought she would get injured, but you know we got to support her and we got to do everything for her. Again, no matter what happens, you just got to be the best role model you can. Stand up for yourself, but also be the best teammate you can off and on the field. So.
Once again, Annika Gunther, a special halftime guest here. Annika, an absolute pleasure to catch up. Best of luck and enjoy the rest of your soccer career and schooling career. Tell your dad that we said hello and everything. But seriously, great to chat with you. Best of luck with everything in your future.
Thank you so much. I hope you have a great game.
We're going to be right back after the 60-second timeout with our Penn Sports Update and stats from Matt Kopke right after the 60-second timeout here from Everwise Free Field. Penn leads over Mishawaka Marian 24-7. Back after 60-second timeout here on 91.1 The Globe and the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Did you know there's a place right here in Michiana that provides comfort and care for families of sick or injured children? Ronald McDonald House Charities of Michiana gives families everything they need, whether it's a hot shower, a comfortable bed, or a home-cooked meal. This allows parents to truly prioritize the health and well-being of their child. Because of people in this community just like you, RMHC Michiana provides their services at zero cost to the families. Find out how you can volunteer or donate to rmhcmichiana.org.
Live from Beef O'Brady's and Granger, it's the Coach's Box every Thursday night at 6 on 91.1 The Globe, hosted by Indiana Hall of Fame broadcaster Paul Condry. The Coach's Box features in-depth interviews with high school and collegiate level athletes from all around the region. Get the inside scoop from coaches and get a good look at the behind-the-scenes world of Indiana athletics. Tune into the Coach's Box, once again live every Thursday at 6 on 91.1 The Globe.
Welcome back here to Everwise Free Field. Once again, huge thank you to Annika Gunther. Of course, her dad, well, you know him a little bit. He's there. Gunther, of course, from State Farm Insurance on our second quarter sponsor. And I tell you what, he definitely got the second quarter on that one, as we'll get our scoring summary from Matt here in just a moment. But before we do that, it's time for our Penn Sports Update as we take a look over the course of the last week from last Saturday up until this moment. Boys soccer, Penn defeated Chesterton 2-1 in game one of the Penn Invite. Then they go ahead and win the Penn Invite by beating Valparaiso 7-2. And then for boys cross country, plays fourth of the Wildcat Invite. For girls cross country, plays second in the Wildcat Invite. Girls soccer, Penn ends up beating Concord 5-0. And our specialist, Annika Gunther, she was okay. All she did was score 4 goals in that game against the Minutemen. for JV football. Penn ended up defeating Riley 27-6. JV football, the South Bend Washington game was canceled for the JV game, and it will not be rescheduled, so a note for that there. And for boys tennis, Penn ended up beating Marian 4-1. For girls soccer, a close game in overtime, and Marian squeaked out an impressive win against the Kingsmen 2-1. In volleyball, Penn takes care of Edwardsburg 25-23, 25-18, and 25-16. In JV boys soccer, Penn shuts out Marian by a score of 3-0. They're now 8-2-1 for the JV boys soccer team, and for the boys soccer varsity team, 3-1 in favor of Marian, and the Kingsmen unbeaten in NIC play for boys soccer. For girls golf, Penn ends up taking care of LaPorte with a score of 170 against LaPorte's 201. For JV boys soccer, check that out. JV boys for varsity boys tennis, South Bend St. Joe defeats Penn 4-1. And volleyball, Penn ends up defeating Mishawaka Marian by a score of 25-17, 25-14, and 25-20. In freshman football, Penn handles Edwardsburg by a score of 40-28. In girls soccer, Penn defeats Warsaw 3-0. And once again, Annika Gunther, how about both a goal and an assist in that game? So certainly for Annika Gunther, doing a great job on the pitch. And once again, tonight's Penn Sports Update is thanks to the great student journalists of Penn High School, led of course by the one and only, and we can truly say legendary, Kurt Rowell. Follow them online at @the_pennant or at thepennant.com. And so we're going to take a quick 60-second timeout. When we come back, we'll have more of their scoring summary after the 60-second timeout here on 91.1 The Globe.
For 30 years, the Lilliard Insurance Agency has been a proud sponsor of local sports in Michiana. The Lilliard Insurance Agency is an independent insurance provider which offers its customers auto, home, business, life, and health insurance. They're located at 410 Lincoln Way West in Osceola. For more information, the phone number is 574-674-0015, and their website is realvalueins.com. That's REALVALUEINS.com.
Beef O'Brady's is a locally owned, family-operated restaurant designed for food and sports, featuring appetizers, wraps, pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and wings. Beef O'Brady's also broadcasts televised sporting events. The State Road 23 Granger location has carry-out service and includes a party room and outside patio. More information is available on their website, beefobradys.com, or by calling 574-271-1415. Again, that's 574-271-1415. Beef O'Brady's. Good food, good sports.
Welcome back here to Penn High School. 424-7 in favor of Penn. Matt's got our first half stats. Take it away, Matt.
Thanks, Tanner. Penn got on the board at the 10:35 mark of the first quarter. Tayshawn Barter, an 8-yard touchdown pass from Kellen Watson. Dylan Dadero's extra point made it 7-0. Dadero's 34-yard field goal at the 1:43 mark of the first quarter made it 10-0 after one. And then Jadon Parker, a 58-yard touchdown run with 6:54 to go in the first half, made it 17-0. And then Braxton Brooks, a 75-yard touchdown pass from Mitch Fimble. Lucas Primrose's extra point with 5:55 to go in the half made it 17-7. And then Tayshawn Barter, a second touchdown pass of the night with 1:50 on the clock. This one from 4 yards out made it 24-7. That's where we stand at the half. Marian with 4 first downs in the first half. Penn with 7. Marian turned the ball over 3 times in the opening half, 2 interceptions and 1 fumble. Marian had 2 punts for an average of 35 yards. Penn had 1 punt for an average of 27 yards. 5 penalties for 45 yards for Marian. 4 penalties for 20 yards from Penn. Marian was 1 of 4 on third down conversions. Penn was 2 of 6. Taking a look at some individual numbers, Lucas Starr was 1 of 5 with 1 interception for 5 yards, and Mitch Fimble was 7 out of 12 with 1 interception and 1 touchdown for 121 yards. Taking a look at some individual numbers here, Braxton Brooks, 2 catches for 71 yards and a touchdown. Deuce Owens, 2 catches for 30 yards. Check the roll with 1 catch for 4 yards. You also had Hayden Hansen, 1 catch for 5 yards. Terrence Lane with 1 catch for 17 yards. And Braxton Tingle with 1 catch for -1 yards. Rushing the football, you had Brian Osmond, 3 carries for 6 yards. Lucas Starr with 2 carries for -14 yards. And Thimble, 3 carries for -6 yards. And then you had the team with a -17 yards. So Marian in the opening half had -31 yards rushing, 126 yards passing, 95 total yards. For Penn in the opening half, Kellen Watson was 4 out of 8 with 2 touchdowns for 31 yards. Tayshawn Barto, 3 catches for 15 yards and a touchdown. And then you had here, taking a look, here was Jeremiah Mitchell with 1 catch for 16 yards. Running the football, Kellen Watson, 4 carries for 4 yards. Jadon Parker, 10 carries for 112 yards. Then you also had, get it right here, Malachi Evans, 6 carries for 44 yards. And then you had Colin Weiss on 1 carry for -2 yards. So Penn in the opening half had, get it right here, 158 yards on the ground, 31 yards through the air, 189 total yards. Penn leads at 24-3 at the half. Penn will get the ball to start the second half.
As we're here at halftime, and the 2 teams now back out on the field and getting ready to go here. Once again, we're going to take a look at the starting lineup. Once again, thanks to Zolman Tires for sponsoring our starting lineups. As we take a look here once again for Zolman Tires, In 1963, Bud Zolman began working in the tire and automotive service industry. After many years of hard work and dedication, he and his wife Diane founded Zolman's Tire in 1978, over 45 years ago, under the leadership of their son, Nate Zolman. Zolman's Best One Tire and Auto now has 8 retail locations and 3 fleet locations, serving you and your family for 3 generations. Zolman's Best One Tire and Auto Care. Once again, the starting lineup here for the Mishawaka Marian Knights. Now, Lucas Marr was the starting the quarterback, but Mitch Fimble was the primary quarterback in the second quarter, so we are going to take a look and see if he ends up getting the starting again in the quarterback spot. But his line up front, once again, Prescott Horvath, Mark Worthington, Preston Shue, Caden Lee, and Doran Brooks. From left to right, the line up front. Feature running back is Brian Osmond, and the feature receivers, Deuce Owens, Braxton Brooks, Aiden Hansen, and Jack DeRoll. That is the Marian offense. Meanwhile, for the Wild Bunch defense, the line up front, Christian Bonner, J.T. Seeger, John White, and Quinn Watson, the 4 up front for the Wild Bunch, and the 3 in the middle of the defense here. Number 42, Kenny Welsh. Number 9, Wilson Thomas. Number 34, Wrigley Hall. And in the secondary for the Kingsmen, number 21, Colton Hernandez. Number 7, Vinny Freeman. Number 23, Joey DePalma. And number 2, Peyton Horner. Meanwhile, we flip the card, and the starting quarterback for the Kingsmen going to be number 3, Kellen Watson. His line up front, Gavin McGee, A.J. Needham, Aiden Deal, Pat Connery, and Brody Brown. The line up front, the feature back is Malachi Evans, but Jadon Parker also making some noise as well. Then Tayshawn Bardo, Cohen Turner, and Jeremiah Mitchell are the feature receivers, with Cole Bennett as the main tight end. And for the Mishawaka Marian Knights, the defense line up front goes Johnson, Lee, Logan, and Walton. In the middle is going to be Nicholas Quiet, Joseph Boone, and Lucas Primrose. And the 4 in the secondary, Quinn Roan, Braden Smith, Mitch Fimble, and Cooper Sooth. So the Knights will work from left to right, and the Kingsmen will work from right to left here in the opening third quarter. And once again, it's going to be Mason Simonowski who will kick this ball off and away, and it's returned at the 20-yard line here for the Kingsmen. And would have been a big return, but a big hit that time taken by Cohen Turner, and he goes down, but is able to get up for the time being. But there's a bit of a limp from him.
Yeah, he bounced around a little bit like a pinball there. But a good return nonetheless.
So Kellen Watson ready to try to keep this Penn high. Once again, 24-7 here in the third quarter. Tanner Cam, Matt Lilliard, and Matt Copsey from here at Everwise Free Field. 2 receivers to the left, none to the right. So Jadon Parker just to the left here for Watson. The snap from Deal. Parker on the keep, and he is going to work to the outside. There's a flag, and that's probably going to be holding. So Parker goes out of bounds after the short pickup, and that's going to be brought back, and that's probably going to be holding against the Kingsmen, and that's exactly what it's going to be.
Now, that was a lot of running for Jadon Parker there, east and west. You want to go north and south, but with the flag on the play, I guess it really doesn't matter.
And for those who are tuning in on our website, rrsn.com, we apologize if there is a little bit of a breakup. But as a reminder, you can also tune in on globeradio.org and on 91.1 FM The Globe on any radio station. So 3 different ways to tune in here for the Penn Kingsmen football as they lead 24-7 under. As here in the third quarter, 2 receivers to the right, none to the left, making it 1st and 20, ball to 24-yard line. Now the handoff for Parker has a bit of an opening, and he's going to keep muscling his way forward almost to the original line of scrimmage and maybe even another yard.
That looked a little more like a Malachi Evans run than a Jadon Parker, but Jadon Parker is running hard and strong today. That was a dive play right up the middle, and he made the most of what he had, that's for sure.
And so that's going to be a pickup of 11 for Jadon Parker. So ball at the 35-yard line, 2nd and 9. So 2 receivers to the left, none to the right. Once again, Parker in the back here with Watson. It's on the handoff for Watson. He's going to work his way up, and he is going to muscle his way forward for another good game that time. And so it's going to be a pickup of about 7 here for Jadon Parker, making it 3rd and 3. Here for the Kingsmen, only a little more than a minute gone by. The Kingsmen, they look good so far despite the holding penalty.
Yeah, they have looked good so far despite the holding penalty. This offense seems to be clicking tonight.
So Kingsmen looking for the first down. They got to get to the 45-yard line in order to get the first. And so Watson going to look up, throw to his tight end, Cole Bennett, and he is going to break one tackle. The ball is loose, and Watson has to fall on top of the football that time. On the initial tackle that time, that was number 6, and Braden Smith, who forced the fumble against Bennett, but Watson at least keeps the football for the Kingsmen, but it is going to have to force the punt team out here with almost 2 minutes gone by, 24-7, as Dylan DeDario set to punt this football back, and it looks like the feature back to return this punt will be number 3 in Braxton Brooks.
Yeah, Bennett wasn't very open on that play, but still made the reception. He was held up by the defense, and one of the last guys to get there really popped him, and the ball came out.
And so it looks like we do have a whistle that's out.
More yellow laundry.
And so this is going to be important, as right now it's 4th and 17.
Hey, that's a new one for us. Substitution infraction on Marian.
And so they're going to push this ball forward. Ball was initially at the 28-yard line, so it's going to push the Kingsmen up by 5. So still 4th and 12, but it does give DeDario a little bit, just 5 yards closer on this punt here. It's now DeDario after the snap, right foot, and that one there's going to be contact, and there's going to be a roughing the kicker. And so as this punt, which was already a beautiful punt, as it's inside of the 10.
Well, the question is it roughing the kicker or running into the kicker?
I think it's roughing.
I was blocked here by the side, so.
No, personal foul. Okay. He was clotheslined by that defensive player.
And unfortunately for the Marian Knights,
Yeah, Marian didn't need this. This gives Penn the ball back, first down, and more clock to eat up.
So it should go to the 48.
And so it was roughing the kicker, and ball's going to go to the 48-yard line, and that's going to be a first down for the Penn Kingsmen. And remember, tonight's Kingsman first down brought to you by Chris Neal State Farm Insurance with their location at 1602 East State Road in Mishawaka. You can reach them for a quote today at 574-255-2900.
7 penalties for 60 yards now for Marian. They've been their own worst enemy, especially on this drive.
So one receiver to the left, one to the right. Bennett also on the right of that line. Watson now gets the snap, a handoff to Parker. Parker trying to work to the outside, spins by one, but is going to be brought down on the far side. Tackle made by Eric Logan, but there is going to be a flag, and for the Kingsmen, after having a penalty that saved their drive, this penalty is now going to push the Kingsmen back 10 yards to the 38-yard line.
Is this 4 flags in a row?
Yes.
And so it looks like actually it won't bring the Kingsmen back 10 yards. It would if the Knights accepted it, but they did not. Instead, they're going to opt to decline the football. And so now it's going to make it 2nd and 14, ball the 44-yard line. One receiver to the right, 2 to the left. Parker still to the right here with Watson. Watson drops back, takes 2 steps, keeping his eyes up, looks right down the middle for Tayshawn Bardo, and nearly intercepted by Braden Smith, and showing his frustration, knowing that he probably should have had that, but it does force a 3rd and 14 with 8:58 left in the third quarter.
Well, we're seeing a lot of errant passes from Kellen Watson. This isn't the typical Kellen Watson game that we've been accustomed to seeing so far this season. A little surprising.
So the clock stopped, and the Penn Kingsmen still leading 24-7 in a game that we have seen just about everything happen here tonight. 2 receivers to the left. Man in motion now is Parker. Parker on the move. Watson keeps his eyes up, trying to find someone. He's got some space, but going to try to see what he can do here. Watson going to keep the ball himself and just run out of bounds. Very short pickup. It looks like though it's going to be about 4, maybe 5 if the officials are being generous.
Now, Kellen really wanted to throw that ball earlier in the play. He had some defenders in his face, had to reset his feet. Even though he had a couple of receivers open early, he wasn't able to deliver the ball. Smart to run out of bounds.
And so instead, it's actually not going to be a pickup. My apologies. So going to be a loss of 2. Makes it 4th down in as we get ready for the Dylan D'Addario punt. And set to return is Braxton Brooks. So now D'Addario on the punt. The Knights don't get D'Addario on that time. And so ball is loose now. And fortunately, Braxton Brooks is able to get a grip on that one. He dropped the football and then was able to pick it up. Broke 1 tackle, but not going to get much. So he'll be at the 20-yard line. And the Marian Knights trying to string together some offense here, down 24-7 here against the Penn Kingsmen. McDonald Physical Therapy and Sports Rehabilitation Center with 2 locations at 1005 Hickory Road in South Bend and in St. Liam Hall on the campus of Notre Dame. Offers physical therapy treatments including Alter-G, treadmill, blood flow restriction, and water therapy. McDonald Physical Therapy and Sports Rehab Center's phone number is 574-233-5754, and they are on the web at mcdonaldpt.com.
41-yard punt, 2-yard return.
2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Osmond, the feature back here with Thimble. So Thimble going to keep the football himself, and he gets past 1. He got past Bonner, but doesn't get much that time. And on the tackle after was Kenny Welsh. He's been the backup here for the Kingsmen for a majority of the season, but we've seen him get a couple starts and a couple plays, and he has looked good tonight for the Wild Ones. Makes it 2nd and 10. No gain that time for Thimble.
Yeah, Christian Bonner played that defensive end position perfectly on that play. They wanted to go outside with it. He held his contain, kicked the ball to the runner back inside, and the rest of the defense cleaned that up.
3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Now Thimble keeps the football, looking to throw. He looks to the outside. That ball is going to be caught by Braxton Brooks, and he's still got some space in front, and he has a tackle from behind. Is on the tackle that time in pursuit.
Kenny Welsh.
Yeah, Kenny Welsh, and that was a
that was a touchdown.
That looks like it from up here. So now ball for Penn 47 after the pickup from Brooks, so 33 yards for Braxton Brooks that time. He's been great here tonight. With under 8 minutes to go, Penn still up 34-7. Brian Osmond on the carry, breaks by 1, and brought down after a nice pickup of about 5 that time.
I told you, Marian has some really, really talented skill position players. The first half, they just weren't able to get them the ball in space. Right now, they're getting the guys the ball in space, and it's working.
So gain of 5 yards for Brian Osmond with 7:15 remaining in the third quarter with Marian trailing 24-7. Osmond in the back, 1 receiver to the left, 2 to the right. Now the snap here for Fimble's going to keep this ball himself, and he gets by 1 defender, but the Kingsmen, they swarm him and bring him down into the turf, and making the tackle that time, number 98, Christian Bonner. His brother Dominic would be very pleased with that play there. It's going to be a loss of 5 that time. Makes it 3rd and 10 here, ball on the 48-yard line.
Yeah, Christian Bonner is playing that defensive end spot really well tonight. He has all year. He and Quinn Watson both hold those positions down really well. They're both good defenders. They're both big, strong guys, and a lot to handle for these offensive tackles.
It's actually going to be a loss of 6 that time, and regardless, 3rd and 11 for the Knights. Ball at the 48-yard line. 1 receiver to the left, 2 to the right. Man in motion is Braxton Brooks. Fimble in the back. Osmond just behind. Fimble going to keep the ball. Looks to his right. Looks right in the middle. Reception that time for number 7, Aiden Hansen, and 2 Kingsmen there to say, no, you may not. So it makes it 4th down, ball at the 45-yard line. So now decision time for Mike Davidson at this point.
Oh, he's going for it.
Got to think about the shot.
This is a 3-score game against Penn. You've got to go for it.
So the Marian offense stays out onto the field. They got to get this fourth down conversion. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Fimble with Osmond in the back. Fimble looks back, looks out to his left, keeps his eyes up, looking towards the middle, and that ball just a little too high. That was a good look for Braxton Brooks. That would have been a first down, but just a little too much mustard underneath that pass. And so the failed fourth down conversion gives the ball back to the Gold Rush here with 5:36 remaining here at Freed Field.
Yeah, great pressure from both defensive ends on that play. I just mentioned Christian Bonner and Quinn Watson, and they were both all over the quarterback on that pass play.
Reminder, tonight's Game Time Weather Report is presented by Flags International. Flags International offers Penn Kingsman flags alongside different kinds of American and international flags, sports flags, and flagpole installations through their website at flagsinternational.com. The phone number for Flags International is toll-free 800-627-3524. Once again, so we'll get to weather here in just a moment. Watson now drops back. The easy toss this time here at Jadon Parker on the reception past the 50, and he's going to pick up a couple that time. Definitely enough for the first down. Ball's at the 45-yard line, and now back in Marian territory. Going to be a pickup of probably about 12, looks like, on the play. It looks like 11. So Jadon Parker on the 11-yard pickup. And it makes it a first down for the Kingsmen. It's tonight's Kingsmen first downs are brought to you by Chris Neal, State Farm Insurance, with their location at 1602 East Bay Road in Mishawaka. You can reach them for a quote today at 574-255-2900.
Penn doesn't run a lot of screen passes, but when they do, they make hay, especially when it's to Tayshawn Barno.
Well, we saw Noah McCauley, Jake Bayless a few times last year that really worked.
2 receivers to the left, no one to the right. Parker, the running back, as Watson going to keep this ball for himself. He is well past the 35, and he's going to leap his way to the 30, but there is, I believe, a flag on the far side around the 45. And
shocker.
And this might be a spot of false start. They're going to say false start against the Kingsmen. So the clock stopped at 4:47. That first down for Watson. They're going to bring this ball back right around the 49-yard line. So loss of 5 that time after the penalty.
Yeah, you don't ever want a penalty on any play, but you certainly don't want a penalty on a play where your quarterback just gained 11 yards and got slammed to the turf like Kellen Watson did on that.
So first and 15, ball at the Marian 49-yard line. 4.5 minutes to go. Penn 24. Mishawaka Marian 7. No receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Watson in the back, and he's also got Parker. Parker on the handoff, tries to spin by 1, but he's going to be brought down hard. Mishawaka on the initial tackle that time. It's going to be number 13. It looks like it's Mason Simonowski. Simonowski on the tackle. No pickup that time. Actually, check that, a gain of 1 for Jadon Parker. 2nd and 14. On off the 48-yard line with 4 minutes remaining in this third quarter.
Yep, Marian's punter also plays strong safety, if you didn't make the connection.
After the punter makes the tackle that time, it makes it now 2nd and 14. Here, ball the 48-yard line. No receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Watson drops back, takes 2 steps, rolls out to his right, and looks for Bennett. Just a little too far. Wide out that time for Bennett. So keeps it at 3rd and 14 with 3:44 remaining in this third quarter. By the way, it's our Flag National Weather Report. Right now, 71 degrees here in the Osceola area. And the real feel of about 72 with wind coming from the east-southeast at about 3 to 5 miles an hour. So it has definitely cooled down from when we initially started. It felt a little sticky, but it is cooled to a very, very comfortable 70 degrees.
Cole Bennett ran a whip route on that last pass play. He was pretty open. It looked like a drag at first, and then he cuts back and goes the other direction. He was open, too.
So now Watson drops back 3rd and 14. Kingsmen need a big play, and Watson, he's got some space in front, and he's going to try to run for himself. He's going to get to the outside, break by a couple, and he should have earned a first down for the Kingsmen, and based off the spot of the ball, I think Kellen Watson just gotten the first down for the Kingsmen.
I don't see a flag either.
No, thankfully. No, Kellen Watson, that's the first time tonight we've seen him exhibit some of that.
He needed to get to the 34.
He got it.
And so he gets to the 34-yard line, so a great pick on the 14 that time for Kellen Watson. Brings up another first down, and of course tonight's Kingsman first down is brought to you by Chris Neal, State Farm Insurance. Their location at 1602 East Bay Road in Mishawaka. You can reach them for a quote today at 574-255-2900. Handoff here for Parker, now works to the right, and he's got that opening, and he's going to try to keep taking advantage of that space, and he's going to get well inside the 20. And so ball inside the 20. And it looks like it's going to be a pickup that time. And it looks like they will move the chains. Pick up about 10 that time here for Parker. So 1st and 10 in favor of Penn. So 2 receivers to the left, no one to the right. Bennett on the right side of that line.
16 actually on the play.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate that. And Jadon Parker just to the left of Watson. 3 and some change left in this third quarter. Deal on the snap. Now the handoff here for Parker, and he is hit by 1 and brought down by many on the tackle that time with Lucas Primrose. That's going to be a loss of 1 that time for Jadon Parker. Makes it 2nd and 11, ball at the 19-yard line here with about 2:45 remaining in the quarter. Penn 24, Mishawaka Marian 7.
If this was the first Penn game you saw this year, you would be surprised to know Jadon Parker started as a wide receiver at the beginning of this year, the way he runs the ball.
2 receivers to the left, no one to the right. Jadon Parker in the back with Kellen Watson. Watson gets the snap from Deal. Watson drops back, keeping the ball up ahead, and ball is loose and poked free. And Watson able to fall right back on top of the football. And so it's going to be a very small pickup, maybe 2. It looks like they're only going to say 1 that time for Kellen Watson. So
back to the original line of scrimmage.
3rd and 10, ball at the 18-yard line with 2 minutes remaining. Dylan Darrow, he's 1 for 2 tonight in field goal attempts in the first. The only one that he's hit was from 34 yards out.
Penn is 3 of 9 on 3rd downs tonight.
So under 2 minutes left, 2 receivers to the left. No one to the right. Watson drops back looking to his left. He's got to be aware he's in trouble. 2 Marian Knights trying to go after him, and he is just going to step out of bounds. So it stops the clock.
That might have taken him out of field goal.
And I think, that's going to back that one up. And in that case, you got to think for Watson to toss the ball away in that case, but that's going to be a fairly big loss. That ball's going to be close to the 30.
Well, that'd be a 45-yard field goal, so I would just go for it here.
Nope, they're going to kick it.
45 yards.
Hey, Dylan Dario has the leg to make this kick.
He gets a good snap. And on this place once again, Oliver Broker is going to be the holder. It's 4th and 20 ball. Now here on the 35, the snap, the hold. This ball is high. This ball is no good. Just a little wide right. Not a bad attempt for Dylan Dario.
No, great attempt by Dylan Dario there. The placeholder had trouble getting that ball up for him to kick it, and somehow he still got it off the ground. That was close for the execution of the snap and hold.
Dylan Dario, once again, as a reminder, all the special teams for the kickoffs, field goals, and extra points. The Kingsman Special Team sponsored by the Specialized Investment Team at Guidance Wealth. Build, protect, prosper on the web at guidancewealth.com. So a missed field goal for Dylan Dario, 1 for 3 tonight. Kingsman still lead 24-7 with 92 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And Marian, they've done a couple nice things defensively. They got to find a way to string together some offense if they want to give themselves a shot.
The old adage, if you can't score, you can't win. Is that an old adage?
I think it's, we'll leave it with that and let you know. Now the deep home run ball, this ball right at the Penn, and so there is going to be a flag as Fimble was trying to toss that ball to DeRoll.
Yeah, DeRoll was running down the field with
De
Palma and Chase. He had to stop for the ball. De Palma didn't know where the ball was and ran into the receiver. Happens a lot in football.
So it's going to be a pass interference. They're going to get this against the Kingsmen. So the clock stopped at 1:26. It's going to push the Knights all the way to the 35-yard line.
Lucky for Penn in high school football, that's not a spot foul.
2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Osmond in the back here with Fimble.
It's not that way in college anymore either.
And so there's a flag, and I think that's going to be a false start. And so those 5, that's a false start against the Knights. So that'll make it 1st and 15 ball at the 30-yard line. Now here for Mike Davidson's Knights with 1 minute and 26 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
My only dream of a day where we don't get double-digit flags.
Nothing. We've seen that a number of times.
We have 15 so far between the 2 teams. And there are a couple that were declined as well. So
1 receiver to the left, 2 to the right. Man in motion is Hanson, the tight end. Fimble drops back, keeps his eyes up, looking for the home run ball to try to find Deuce Owen. And that's going to be an incomplete pass. And DePalma, much better job of putting pressure without committing the pass interference.
That was really close to the way Joey DePalma intercepted that ball. Oh, no, it wasn't Joey DePalma that caught that earlier tonight. But he made a great play, real similar to the way Peyton Horner made it earlier today. He came across the field, jumped right in front of the receiver. The receiver was really close to having that ball.
So minute 20 remaining in this third quarter. Marian trails 24-7 against the Penn Kingsmen. 2nd and 15 ball to 30 here in this third quarter. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Brooks in motion, working to the right. Now Fimble rolls out to his right, tosses the ball in the air, looking for Brooks, and it goes into the Penn sideline. We're going to make it 3rd and 15.
More pressure from that Penn defensive line. Marion's offensive line is having a really hard time slowing down this pass rush.
And
well, they basically eliminated the running game at this point. We're down 24-7.
That was a key factor for both coaches with the line up front. The 2 receivers on the left, 2 on the right. So check that 3rd and 15. My apologies. I said 4th down earlier. My apologies. So 3rd and 15. Drops back now here for Fimble. Has to get rid of this ball quick. And that ball, ironically enough, caught from the ground. Brian Osmond, he tripped on his own feet, maybe even against the Penn Kingsman feet.
He caught that laying on his back. It dropped right into his arms. You want to slow down that pass rush a little bit, even on a screen play. The quarterback still has to have a chance to set up, and that defensive line was through too fast for them to set up that screen play.
So 40 seconds left on the clock, continuing to tick. It's going to be a punt here for the Knights with Mason Simonowski. Set to return will be Tayshawn Bartow and Peyton Horner. And so now the snap, now the ball is high. This one not very deep, and Simonowski has this ball going to take a bounce, but it goes out of bounds, and it's going to be here at the Penn 46. So for Pete Reardon's Kingsmen, this drive, any type of score at this point would really put pressure on the Knights with about 26 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And so we do have a couple of scoreboard updates. Once again, thanks to the 2024 Indiana Football Digest. More information available at indianafootballdigest.com. Carroll, how about this, Matt Copsey leads Snyder 17-3 at halftime. Fort Wayne up on South 14-0 at halftime. North Justin all over Culver Community 54-0. Triton up on Winnemac 28-0. We'll get a couple more here in just a moment. But now Penn back offensively. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Watson to the back here with Cohen Weiss on, and he finds an opening and gets a couple more still on his feet. and it's going to be a pickup of about 8, maybe 9, depending on the spot. But we've seen Cohen Weisson have some impressive runs, and that very well is probably going to be the final play of this drive. Check that, of this quarter. And so the Kingsmen will let the third quarter clock roll out. The Kingsmen 12 minutes away from staying undefeated in Northern Indiana Conference play. They lead 24-7 here after 3 quarters of play. Tanner Camp, Matt Compsey, and Matt Lillier will be back after the 60-second timeout here for Penn Kingsmen football on 91.1 The Globe and the Regional Radio Sports Network.
For 30 years, the Lilliard Insurance Agency has been a proud sponsor of local sports in Michiana. The Lilliard Insurance Agency is an independent insurance provider which offers its customers auto, home, business, life, and health insurance. They're located at 410 Lincoln Way West in Osceola. For more information, the phone number is 574-674-0015, and their website is realvalueins.com. That's REALVALUEINS.com.
Beef O'Brady's is a locally owned, family-operated restaurant designed for food and sports, featuring appetizers, wraps, pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and wings. Beef O'Brady's also broadcasts televised sporting events. The State Road 23 Granger location has carry-out service and includes a party room and outside patio. More information is available on their website, beefobradys.com, or by calling 574-271-1415. Again, that's 574-271-1415. Beef O'Brady's. Good food, good sports.
Here in the fourth quarter, Penn leads 24-7, and on the fake to Weisson, Kellen Watson keeps the football himself, and he is going to work his way forward, and that's going to be plenty enough for the first down. Pickup of 3 that time for Kellen Watson.
That quarterback read option play, Kellen Watson elected to keep the ball and was wise doing so, getting that first down.
We've seen Cohen Weisson. He has had some big games, including that South End Riley game where he was big on the ground. If it wasn't for Jadon Parker, he was in conversation for our Lillier Insurance Agency MVP of the game. And we'll get you a couple other scores here presented by the 2024 Indiana Football Digest here in just a moment. Right after this play, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Weisson in the back now here with Watson. And the Kingsmen, they take their time, and whistle is blown. And so it looks like it is going to be a penalty. I think they just got a penalty against the Kingsmen.
I'm not even sure what it's for.
So penalty against the Kingsmen pushes the black and gold all the way back 5 yards. So they're going to spot this ball now here, still at the Marian 49-yard line. And so we'll go with take 2 here on this fourth quarter drive. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Once again, Weisson in the back here with Watson. Now the handoff here for Weisson, and he takes a monster hit up front. That is Lucas Primrose making contact with the sophomore that time. And no gain on the play, so 2nd and 15. Ball now at the 50-yard line here, almost over a minute gone by here in this fourth quarter. One receiver on the left now for the Kingsmen, 2 to the right. Bennett on the left side of that line right now. Weisson is again 2nd and I think they actually get 16, so almost a loss for Weisson. Runs right into the line, and he is not able to get anything that time as the Knights on the initial grab was Caleb Johnson, the 6'2 senior, grabbing a hold of Weisson's foot. And so that's going to be another loss here for the Kingsmen.
The Knights are definitely loading the box here and playing the run. They know Penn doesn't want to go to the air if they don't have to, and they want to run this clock down as much as they can. Watch Penn get a little creative here, I think.
It's going to make it 3rd and 17. Here, ball to 48-yard line. So Weisson on another loss. Over 2 minutes gone by in this fourth quarter. So 1 receiver to the left, 2 to the right. Weisson in the back here with Watson. High snap. Watson keeps a hold. Looking deep. Looking for the end zone. And that ball is going to be incomplete. The question was going to be if it was an interception, but it was Mitch Fimble. Oh, so close to an interception for the Knights. Instead, it stops the clock at 9:39 and brings out the punt team here for Dylan DeDario and the Knights. Personal opinion, guys. They got to think for the Knights. You got to be thinking nothing but 6 here because anything else, and this game could just be out of reach if they can't score.
Yeah, Mitch Fimble was really close to making that interception. He had it in his hands. Going to the ground, I think he just couldn't control it.
So Braxton Brooks back to return this punt here. Dylan DeDario hits the long snap. Ball is high, and that is just away. It's going to be a fair catch signal just inside of the 15 to DeDario. There was heavy pressure from the Knights. That was Quinn Roan who nearly got a piece, and also props to Roan did a great job of putting pressure without making contact with DeDario. So 9:31 remaining, and the Knights will start at their own 14-yard line. Gives us a chance to thank some more great sponsors, including over at Cuban Networks.
Tonight's broadcast is being underwritten by our friends at Cuban Networks. Located at 103 Polk Street in LaPorte, Cuban Networks takes pride in helping keep their customers happy for all their technology needs. More information can be found on their website at cubannet.com or by phone at 219-369-4357.
1st and 10, ball at the 14-yard line with 9:31 remaining in the regulation. Penn 24, Marian 7. Mike Davidson's got to be thinking 6 to stay within striking distance. 3 receivers to the left, no one to the right. Mitch Fimble here in the quarterback spot. He's going to keep this ball himself and be brought down with force.
I don't think that was Fimble.
No, it was.
Mar's back
It
in
was.
the
So
game.
Lucas Marr now back in the game. Apologies, folks, from our vantage point on the initial tackle. That was Peyton Horner on the tackle against Lucas Marr. So good to see Marr back in the game.
Well, it's tough for a quarterback to play both ways. Fimble is playing free safety for Marian as well.
So a loss of 1 that time here for Lucas Marr. 3 receivers to the left, 2nd and 11. Ball at the 13-yard line. Marr drops back, looking back towards the middle. And that time was trying to find number 3 here for the Knights.
That was Braxton Brooks.
And so stops the clock at 8:56. 3rd and 11.
Yeah,
Ball at the 13-yard line.
Braxton Brooks was open on that play. Penn's really lucky that pass didn't get completed because we know what Braxton Brooks can do with the ball in his hands. We've seen it tonight.
They had one for 75 yards, and that's been the only score that the Knights have been able to put together at this point in the ballgame. They're going to need one here in order to stay within close contest. So now Marr looks back towards the middle and finds number 17. That's Jack Roll. That's going to be plenty enough for the first down. Ball's going to be right around the 30-yard line, so at minimum a gain of 17. And it looks like it's going to be 18 as they'll spot this ball at the 31-yard line. So Jack Roll with a huge third down conversion that time on the reception.
Yeah, Penn was playing two high safeties on that last pass play, and Jack Roll ran a post pattern right down the middle of the field and found that spot between the two safeties.
Three receivers to the left, none to the right for the Mishawaka Marian Knights, who move from right to left. Kingsman going from left to right for the remainder of this quarter. Marr drops back, has an opening, rolls out to his right. He's got space in front, going to try to pick up more that time, and he is going to try to work his way close to the 40-yard line, as it looks like they're going to spot Marr at the 39-yard line, so it should be a pickup of 8 that time for Lucas Marr. With a little more than 8 minutes left in this fourth quarter, Penn 24, Mishawaka Marian 7 here at Everwise Free Field.
That has to be one of the bigger games Marian's had on the ground so far tonight.
That is their biggest gain of the night. Previous to that, it was 9. There was 1-9 earlier in the game that Thimble had.
2nd and 1, ball to 40, the handoff for Osmond. He's going to get the first down and more, nearly to the 50. And so they'll spot him. Looks like they will get him to the 50. So that's a pickup of 10 for Brian Osmond. That's a first down for the Mishawaka Marian Knights. And again, Ivy Tech credits transfer to more than 100 colleges and universities in Indiana and outside the state, with more than 20 degrees qualifying for guaranteed admission at the largest four-year institutions in the state. Each year, over 5,000 students transfer to a four-year university each year. Enrollment is open for an October 21st start. Visit more information available at ivytech.edu/apply. Heavy pressure, and that ball was deflected. And so an incomplete pass for Lucas Marr stops the clock at 7:19 here in regulation. Marian trails, but the offense has a solid drive going at this point.
Wilson Thomas almost had himself an interception on that play. When it was deflected, it almost landed right in his arms.
So it looks like with 3:33 left in the fourth quarter, Concord has taken the lead on Warsaw 21-17. And a great game at the Northern Lakes Conference.
Warsaw led 17-0 at one time.
Wow. So with one receiver on the right, 2 to the left. Marr drops back, hands off here to Osmond. Osmond break by one tackle, going to break by a couple. He'll be bundled up and pick up a gain of 1.
That looked like it was really close to a horse collar tackle.
And it was very close.
Yeah, with the way things have been going tonight, I'm surprised there wasn't some laundry on the field.
So it'll be a pickup of 1 for Brian Osmond. Ball at the Penn 49-yard line. We're almost halfway through this fourth quarter. So the one thing if you're the Kingsmen right now is you're forcing a long drive for the Knights. And so for Marian, 3 receivers to the right, none to the left. So now Brooks, man in motion, moves from right to left now. Close to the 50-yard line, Osmond, the feature back. Now Marr drops back, looking both left and right. Back here towards the left, and Braxton Brooks. What a catch for Braxton Brooks. It was poked free for just a moment and was able to hold on to that football for dear life. So that's going to be a first down after the 10-yard pickup that time for the Knights. And it's Braxton Brooks on the reception and moves the chains, and the Knights stay alive on this drive.
Yeah, he caught that ball in heavy traffic. Excellent reception.
No receivers to the left, 3 to the right here for the Knights. They don't need to move too quick, but they still got to have a little urgency. They got to score to give themselves a chance. Now Marr, that ball is high to look for Braxton Brooks, and there was a heavy hit from Vinny Freeman. No flag on the play.
No, they threw that ball really high to Braxton Brooks on that play. He had to go up for that. Didn't come down with the ball, but took a huge shot. That's exactly what defensive backs love to see because they get pretty good shots on receivers when that happens.
So 6 minutes and 4 seconds left.
We used to call that a rib dinner.
I know it's past dinner time, but I tell you what.
No, I know what you're saying. I know exactly what that is.
2 to the left, 2 to the right. Marr in the back, but that incomplete pass. Clock had stopped at 6:04. Now Marr, he breaks by the line up front, is going to pick up a couple. Tell you what, Lucas Marr had absolutely no fear. He was a second later on that decision to run. He could have been eaten alive by the Wild Bunch. Instead, he gets to pick up a 4.
He stumbled backwards on that play for about 3 or 4 yards. Lucky he didn't take a big shot.
So 5.5 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Penn leads 24-7. Marian on the move offensively. 3 receivers to the left, none to the right. And a big third down conversion here. Lucas Marr gets the snap. Now the handoff to Osmond, and he breaks by a couple tacklers, stays on his feet, and he is going to earn himself a first down after working to the 25-yard line. So pick up of 9 for Brian Osmond, and with 5:20 left, stops the clock as they got to move the chains.
Yeah, Penn's playing a little more bend but don't break defense. They're going to give them these runs for 5 to 8 yards here and there just because they don't want any quick strikes.
So you
watch this clock run down.
Yeah, they're completely fine with this clock going down, and that means they don't get to be back on the ball offensively. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Penn up 24-7. Marr in the back. He's also got Osmond as the feature back. Man in motion here for Hansen, and there's a flag on the field. And unfortunately, I think that's going to go against the Knights, and it will false start up front. That's going to push the Knights back 5, make it 1st and 15, ball to 39-yard line with 4:54 remaining in regulation.
There's about half of the team out there had a false start. There must have been a miscommunication between the quarterback and the center.
This will be the 12th play of the drive. They've used over 4 minutes of the clock.
No receivers on the left, 3 on the right. Osmond in the back with Marr at the controls. Gets the snap here from Shu, and Mar in trouble, has to throw the football away, and almost intercepted. And that was Wrigley Hall who nearly had the interception. That might not have officially sealed the deal, but you got to think it would have been very close to doing that. But the Wild Bunch comes away with the stop, makes it 2nd and 15, ball to 30, and the clock stopped at 4:32.
Yeah, Mar was running for his life on that play. Smart move to throw it away. You just got to throw away a little bit further away from the defender.
Penn leads 24-7. Three receivers on the right, none on the left. Oz in the feature back. Now Mar rolls out to his right, keeping his eyes up, throwing the football, looking up, and that ball is caught by Deuce Owens, but there's a flag on the play, and based off the spot of the foul, I think we're going to have holding, and it's going to go against Marian. So some of these penalties have really hurt the Knights, but none more than at this point in the ballgame when they need to score most. So after that nice pickup that time from Deuce Owens, they'll be holding against the Knights. So it's 4:25. It'll stay at 2nd down, but push the Knights back 10 more yards, which means it'll be 2nd and 25 from the Penn 40.
Marian needs to take a couple shots deep here.
Man, I don't believe Marian's taking a timeout either.
No.
So they do have all 3 timeouts if they need to, because right now the clock continues to roll. We're approaching 4 minutes remaining in regulation. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Hanson, the man in motion. So now 2 on each side. Osmond in the back. Mar looks up, throws right toward the middle, and that ball going to be an incomplete pass here for Mar, as the look that time was for DeRoll.
Now that throw was into heavy traffic. DeRoll had 3 defenders around him.
Well, you're in 4-down territory here, so you've got 2 downs to try to get 25 yards.
And so with 4 minutes and 4 seconds left, this drive's got, as Matt Copley had said, got to be thinking 6 at this point. So 3 receivers to the left, no one to the right. Osmond, the feature back right now, as Mar now man in motion as Braxton Brooks works out and rolls to his right. Now the snap here from Shu. Mar, good snap that time, looks to the outside. Heavy hit from the Wild Bunch. Once again, Kenny Welsh, he's been great defensively. And that reception that time for the Knights. That was Hanson.
Yep, Aiden Hanson on a short out pattern. They're going to need more yardage than this.
It was a 4-yard pickup for Hanson. It was 4th and 21, and Mike Davidson's got to go for it as the clock continues to roll.
He should take a timeout here just to try to settle his club down.
And maybe at the very least see if he can get the Penn Kings off sides. And this could be the game if they end up snapping this football. And so they will. So Lucas Mar now drops back. Heavy pressure's coming. Stays alive. Throws it up. And that ball, and it's caught to the outside.
He's still about 10 yards short of a first down. Great catch, but still way short of a first down. Turnover on down.
And the reception essentially got the Knights almost back to the initial line of scrimmage. So after the pickup for DeRoll with 3:18 left in this 4th quarter, Penn plays this correct and get their first down. They're going to walk out of here with the win. It's 24-7 in favor of Penn. And as a reminder, our coverage of Penn High School sports and the Regional Radio Sports Network is presented by our friends at Harrison Sons Construction. For over a decade, Harrison Sons Construction have offered full-service remodeling and construction. Projects include kitchen, bathroom, and interior home remodeling. In addition, Harrison Sons Construction also offers roofing, siding, and interior and exterior painting. For more information on the services of Harrison Sons Construction, the phone number is 574-514-2104. Kellen Watson in the back. Now a handoff here for the Kingsmen, and it's Jadon Parker rolling to his outside, and he's going to pick up about 5, maybe more on the play.
But you want to stay in bounds. Jadon ran out of bounds there, and I think it stops the clock.
And it does. Well, you can see Pete Reardon through the headset. Yes, it was a solid pickup for Jadon Parker, but as you said, in these types of moments, it's going to be a 7-yard pickup for Parker. But in these moments, at minimum, just take the slide and keep that clock running. So 2nd and 3, ball at the 32-yard line. No receivers to the left, and it looks like Bardo, he will be. So 1 receiver to the left, 1 to the right. Jadon Parker in the back here. Watson hands off to Parker, has an opening, and is going to break out for more. Spin move to stay alive. He's got a blocker up front, and he's going to try to pick up more, and he is well past the 40-yard line, an easy first down.
I think he made up for running out of bounds on that.
I think so, or at least it was a big enough gain.
That player down here back at the 40.
And unfortunately, I think that is going to be Eric Logan again. We saw him go down once earlier.
Yeah, I think he's got a cramp.
The ball's going to be spotted at the 38-yard line. As I get the chance to thank our friends over at Cuban Networks.
Tonight's broadcast is being underwritten by our friends at Cuban Networks. Located at 103 Polk Street in LaPorte, Cuban Networks takes pride in helping keep their customers happy for all their technology needs. More information can be found on their website at cubannet.com or by phone at 219-369-4357. And for those that are interested, cubannet.com is spelled Qubitnet.com.
And gives us a chance to thank some other great friends here at the
Regional Radio Sports Network at 91.1 FM The Globe. And to thank Clover Machinery Movers, 3521 North Home Street in Mishawaka, for underwriting a portion of tonight's game. Serving the industry since 1948, Clover Machinery Movers is fully equipped and insured for machinery moving, rigging, and hauling. They can move one machine or relocate an entire plant, and they also offer customers heated storage facility. Their phone number is 574-255-3195, and they're on the web at clovermachinerymovers.com.
Jadon Parker spin move to stay alive, and then he is hit really hard. And there was a big hit taken that time. Braden Smith with a big hit on Parker.
It almost looked like he tried to lateral the ball there.
So he was trying to. So again, he gets out of bounds. So it stops the clock at 2:50.
Either that or he got popped and that ball went up in the air.
And so now ball's going to be spotted here. Looks like just inside 26, though. It's going to be a pickup of 12 for Jadon Parker. So first and 10. 2 minutes and 50 seconds left. Penn with a 24-7 lead. As long as they stay inbound, they're going to be in place. So Parker tries to spin out, but he is brought down hard that time. That's number 11, and Terrence Lane making the tackle.
Hey, I will say, even with a 3-score game, Marian's defense is still playing really, really hard.
And Penn's going to try to run out the clock now.
And I think that's what they're going to do in this case. But yeah, Matt Willard, to your point, yeah, this is a team that has still looked impressive, especially after their good shutout win back last week against South Bend St. Joe.
No, they definitely haven't given up out there.
And then Marian, they'll take on Washington next week. They'll be back at Bob Witolski Field. So certainly if you're Mike Davidson, despite the score, you've got to be pleased with the effort given tonight against the black and gold. Now Parker on the run, right up the middle, works to the outside, trying to stay in play, takes a bit of a hit. And so he's going to work his way right around the 21-yard line. So pick up a 4 for Jadon Parker. I think that's 3rd and 5.
Jadon Parker has played a really hard-fought football game. Even when things are clogged up in the middle, he bounces the ball out really nicely, gaining extra yards. This is a hard-fought game for him. Really impressive showing by Jadon Parker.
So it's 3rd and 5 and 90 seconds left. Plain and simple. The Kings can get a first down, and they're going to earn themselves a victory. That should run out the rest of this clock. They can take the knee. So now the handoff to Jadon Parker finds an opening, works up, and he is going to be short. But he does pick up a couple, but a good hit that time. Number 6, Braden Smith from the secondary.
Yeah, Jadon Parker is going to need some rest
I
tonight
think
tomorrow.
Penn's going to run the ball. I don't think they're going to chance a field goal, getting blocked and whatever. I think they're just going to run the ball.
And they don't need the points, so they may as well.
So as a reminder, that all Kingston first downs tonight are brought to you by Chris Neal State Farm Insurance at their location.
What they might do is they might let the play clock run down and then take a timeout.
Once again,
so they don't get a penalty.
The location is 1602 East State Road in Mishawaka. You can reach them for a quote today at 574-255-2900 for all the Kingston first downs, and that is exactly what the Kingston are going to do. They're going to wind it down, and they'll take a timeout here with 39.6 seconds remaining to give us a chance to thank some more of our great friends. That includes over at the Beeler Law Office.
The Beeler Law Office is located at 3430 Bremen Highway in Mishawaka, next to the 331 Meyer store. Attorney Radio has been practicing law since 2001 and is a 1980 Penn High School graduate. She offers her clients estate planning, including power of attorneys, wills and living wills, probate administration, bankruptcy, business, guardianship, and other family law services. The phone number for Beeler Law Office in Mishawaka is 888-633-1361.
Regional Radio Sports Network wants to thank the Sharp family and A's Event Rentals, 805 West Edison Road in Mishawaka, for their terrific support of student athletes over the years. Serving the community for 53 years, their phone number is 574-256-1110, and they're on the web at agerental.com.
So 4th and 2. And the Kingston played it simple. They convert the first down, and they've got this game. 39.6 seconds left. Jadon Parker, he's going to spin back to the right, and that's going to be a first down, and that is going to punch a stamp on this game.
They won't have to run another play.
They'll have to move the chains to the first down.
There's less than 40 seconds. They don't have to run another play.
So after the first down for Jadon Parker, so they reset the chains to pick up a 3 and 10. Not going to worry about running another play. Once again, all the first downs brought to you by Chris Neal State Farm Insurance. The location is 1602 East State Road in Mishawaka. You can reach them today for a quote at 574-255-2900. 15 seconds left.
Let's put the bow on this one.
And so 10 seconds left, 24-7, as the Kings are going to let this clock wind down. And on the season, the Penn Kingsmen, after their loss to Mishawaka, then they start conference play. They are now 3-0 in the NIC as they defeat the Mishawaka Marian Knights by a final score of 24-7. With the win, the Kingsmen now improve to 4-1 in overall play and 3-0 in the NIC. Meanwhile, for the Mishawaka Marian Knights, they drop to 2-3 overall and get their first loss against the Kingsmen here in the Northern Indiana Conference. We'll come back for a little bit of analysis, get our final stats here from Matt Coffey, take another look around the state from Scoreboard Central, thanks to the 2024 Indiana Football Digest, and put a bow on this game tonight. But once again, the Penn Kingsmen win here at home by defeating the Mishawaka Marian Knights by a final score of 24-7. Tanner Cam, Matt Lilly, or Matt Coffey back after this 2-minute timeout here. You are listening to Penn Kingsmen Football here on 91.1 FM The Globe and the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Did you know there's a place right here in Michiana that provides comfort and care for families of sick or injured children? Ronald McDonald House Charities of Michiana gives families everything they need, whether it's a hot shower, a comfortable bed, or a home-cooked meal. This allows parents to truly prioritize the health and well-being of their child. Because of people in this community just like you, RMHC Michiana provides their services at zero cost to the families. Find out how you can volunteer or donate to rmhcmichiana.org.
Beef O'Brady's is a locally owned, family-operated restaurant designed for food and sports, featuring appetizers, wraps, pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and wings. Beef O'Brady's also broadcasts televised sporting events. The State Road 23 Granger location has carry-out service and includes a party room and outside patio. More information is available on their website, beefobradys.com, or by calling 574-271-1415. Again, that's 574-271-1415. Beef O'Brady's. Good food, good sports.
The 2024 Indiana Football Digest is now available for online order at indianafootballdigest.com. This year's digest is packed to the brim not only with stats and scores, but in-depth and detailed analysis on each Indiana High School Athletic Association team. It also features a section on Indiana collegiate football and quotes from coaches from all around the state, giving readers an inside look at Indiana high school football. The 2024 Indiana Football Digest is available online at indianafootballdigest.com.
Eric Gunther and State Farm Insurance are proud to underwrite a portion of tonight's game on the Regional Radio Sports Network. Eric's office is located at 356 South Michigan Street in South Bend. Under State Farm Insurance Agency, Eric offers auto and health insurance, as well as financial services. For more information on these or other products that State Farm offers, Eric can be reached at 574-291-1597. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Once again, welcome back here on Regional Radio Sports Network and on 91.1 FM The Globe. Once again, if you haven't tuned in on RSN.com, we apologize for the difficulties, and our promise is we will make sure those get straightened out. But if you haven't been able to tune in on globeradio.org and 91.1 FM The Globe, once again, Kingsmen win here at home 24-7 here against the Mishawaka Marian Knights. 4-1 now for the Kingsmen, and once again gives us a chance to thank a couple more of our sponsors another final time. Once again, that includes over at Harris & Sons Construction. And so as a reminder for here tonight, for Harris & Sons Construction, our coverage of Penn High School sports on the Regional Radio Sports Network is presented by our friends at Harris & Sons Construction. For over a decade, Harris & Sons Construction have offered full-service remodeling and construction. Projects include kitchen, bathroom, and interior home remodeling. In addition, Harris & Sons Construction also offers roofing, siding, and interior and exterior painting. For more information on the services of Harris & Sons Construction, the phone number is 574-514-2104, and also gives us a chance to thank the great folks over at the Beeler Law Office.
The Beeler Law Office is located at 3430 Bremen Highway in Mishawaka, next to the 331 Meyer store. Attorney Ray Beeler has been practicing law since 2001 and is a 1980 Penn High School graduate. She offers her clients estate planning, including power of attorneys, wills and living wills, probate administration, bankruptcy, business guardianship, and other family law services. The phone number for the Beeler Law Office in Mishawaka is 888-633-1361.
And, of course, as a reminder, in regards to here tonight and on all season long for the Penn kickoff, field goal, and extra points, the Kingsmen special teams are sponsored by the Specialized Investment Team at Guidance Wealth. Build, protect, prosper on the web at guidancewealth.com. Again, 24-7, Penn wins here at home. And Matt Lilly, really, this was a game that when we had talked about, both teams coming off of big performances, with Penn with their 44-6 win against Washington, and meanwhile with Marian putting on their overall best performance with that 27-0 win. And really, I think the score doesn't reflect Penn got off to that great start, but really, and we'll hear this from Matt, but the first half had about as many wild sequences that we have seen all year long. It started on that opening drive for Marian when they fumbled the football, and Penn started inside of the 5. We saw plays where Marian very well could have had a fumble recovery for a touchdown, but was called back as they deemed Kellen Watson down. Tell you what, when we talk about the chaos and craziness of just that first half, and then really things kind of settled in the second, but overall for the Kings, and this was a game the Black and Gold did not want to take Marian lightly, and especially in that first half, they did their job. This was a good, hard-fought victory.
Yeah, I agree. And we talked about this before the game. We weren't really sure what to expect from this Marian Knights team. They started the season slow, 0-2, with a couple of losses, and then came back and had a really, really big win against St. Joe, 27-0. I was a little nervous, frankly, coming into this game. I thought Penn might struggle with them a little more than they did. Besides that one big offensive play, Penn's defense looked as solid as they've looked all season so far. I think the defense is coming along nicely. The offense sputtered a little bit. The passing game was a little bit off tonight, but they really didn't need it. 24-7 is a big win for the Kingsmen, and their running game was on point.
And, of course, eventually we'll have to start thinking about a Lilly Insurance Agency players of the game for both the Penn Kingsmen and for the Mishawaka Marian Knights. And I tell you what, if you're the Marian Knights, and you said this perfectly near the end of the game, and if you're Coach Davidson, yes, obviously you're upset that you lost, that you're for a conference loss, but as you look forward, as they get ready for South Bend Washington back at Otulski Field next week, you're at least pleased with the effort. I mean, there were some big plays defensively that were made, and you could see how close on a couple of occasions that the Knights were ready to intercept the football, and even defensively. So I'll tell you what, still overall, I was impressed with this Marian Knights team, and they continue to improve. They're going to make some noise, especially as we start getting closer and closer to postseason play.
It could have been a very different ball game in the first half. That call at close to the end of the first half, where they had maybe a fumble, maybe not, where Marian could have gotten the ball on the inside the 5-yard line, or maybe it was even a score. Penn dodged one there. It could have been it wouldn't have been a 3-score game to end this game, at least, to say Penn rallied really well in that at the end of the first half, going into the second half, and a good showing for the Kingsmen. I mean, I'm pretty pleased with especially how this defense is coming along. They came into the season with a lot of inexperienced players. They had to replace 10 seniors, not an easy thing to do, and they're making a lot of progress on that side of the ball.
And before we get ready to toss things over to Matt Copsey for our final stats, one final look here from Scoreboard Central. Once again, thanks to the 2024 Indiana Football Digest. More information available at indianafootballdigest.com, as we do have a couple scores to give you. Mishawaka takes care of Goshen 49-10. That is a final. Northwood, that's a great game right now, as Northwood up 17-10 in the fourth quarter. Plymouth handling Wawasee right now 30-0 in the fourth quarter. Hanover Central up 14-6 against Kankakee Valley, and it was after a missed point after touchdown. So with 10:31 left in the third quarter, Kankakee Valley hanging around with the Wildcats right now. Lafayette Central Catholic only up 12-7 against West Lafayette in that fourth quarter. That's a great game going on. At halftime of the Westfield and Hamilton Southeastern game, Westfield up 7-0. Ben Davis and Warren Central 10-10 is the score, but they are in a lightning delay currently, as we have a couple more scores, and we'll give them to you now. Huntington North takes care of Belmont 63-0. That's the final. East Noble up on Leo, down in Leo in the fourth quarter, 34-21. And Columbia City all over DeKalb, 47-14 in the third quarter. For our final stats here for tonight, let's send things over to Matt Copsey.
Okay, thanks, Tanner. Penn got on the board at the 10:35 mark of the opening quarter. Tayshawn Bardwell, 8-yard touchdown pass from Kellen Watson. Dylan DeDario's extra point made it 7-0. It became 10-0 at the 1:43 mark. DeDario with a 34-yard field goal. 6:54 left in the first half. Jaden Parker, a 58-yard touchdown run. Daguerre's extra point made it 17-0. Marian then, less than a minute later, a 75-yard touchdown pass from Mitch Fimble to Braxton Brooks. Lucas Primrose's extra point made it 17-7. And then Watson's 4-yard pass to Bardo with 1:50 to go in the half made it 24-7. There was no scoring in the second half, so the final was 24-7. Marian had 10 first downs, 15 for Penn. Marian punted the ball 3 times for an average of 32 yards. Marian 10 penalties for 85 yards. Penn had 3 punts for an average of 36 yards. Penn with 8 penalties for 55 yards. Marian turned the ball over 3 times, 2 interceptions and 1 fumble. Marian 3 for 10 on third down conversions. Penn was 3 out of 12. Taking a look at some individual numbers now. Lucas Marr was 5 out of 14 with 1 interception for 45 yards, and Mitch Fimble was 10 out of 18 with 1 touchdown and 1 interception for 158 yards. Taking a look here at some more individual numbers, Braxton Brooks had 4 catches for 115 yards and 1 touchdown. Deuce Owens, 2 catches for 30 yards. Taking a look here, got to find the name. Aiden Hansen had 3 catches for 33 yards. Then you had Jack DeRoll with 3 catches for 33 yards. I'm sorry, you had Aiden Hansen, 3 catches for 12 yards. And then you had, trying to get it here, Terrence Lane with 1 catch for 17 yards. Taking a look at the rushing numbers, Brian Osmond, 7 carries for 32 yards. Marr had 5 carries for -3 yards. Fimble, 5 carries for -12 yards. So Marian had 0 yards rushing, 203 yards passing, 203 total yards. For Penn, Kellen Watson was 5 out of 14 for 42 yards and 2 touchdowns. Tayshawn Bardo, 3 catches for 15 yards. And then, looking here, Jaden Parker, 1 catch for 11 yards. And then you had Jeremiah Mitchell with 1 catch for 16 yards. Running the football, 8 carries for 10 yards for Kellen Watson. Jadon Parker, 23 carries for 200 yards. Then you had, taking a look here, with Malachi Evans with 6 carries for 44 yards. And then Cohen Weissong, 3 carries for 4 yards. So Penn had 42 yards on the ground, 245 on the ground, 42 through the air, 245 on the ground for a total of 287. Penn improves to 4-1. They're now 3-0 in the NIC. Marian drops to 2-3. They are now 2-1. Marian will be at home next week at Bob Vitelski Field against South Bend, Washington, and Penn will be at Everwise School Field taking on South Bend Adams.
And one final score that we have to give because it's a local score and by far one of the other exciting games in this part of the state. Concord ends up defeating Warsaw 28-24 thanks to Dwayne Lewandowski. How about this? A 72-yard drive, and the looks like the Minutemen able to score with 23 seconds remaining in the game, including a huge conversion on 4th and 3. I believe it was the 18-yard line, what we were told Matt Lillard. And I tell you what, that is a game that very well could have just indicated who could win the Northern Lakes Conference.
Yeah, I would pay a few bucks to see the end of that game. It sounded exciting.
Well, Concord's the only undefeated team left in the conference, and they've beaten the 2 teams that were contending with them in Mishawaka and Warsaw.
Yeah, 4th and 3 from the 18, scoring with 23 seconds left to wrap up that game. Wow.
So one final thing that we need to do before we say our thank yous and goodbyes, I think our players of the game, once again, thanks to Lillard Insurance Agency for MVPs of the game. We'll start things off for the Mishawaka Marian Knights and Matt Lillard. We were looking at the decision. Again, a number of players made some big plays, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But when you've got the only score for the game, and quite frankly, when a big play needed to be made, especially from the receiving end of things, Braxton Brooks, the 5'10 senior, including that 75-yard touchdown, which is his longest of the year, he was impressive, and I was really impressed with the way he was able to hold on to the football a couple times. So for the 5'10 senior, we're giving it to for him for the night.
Yeah, Braxton Brooks was the only one that scored tonight. Marian has some excellent receivers on this team, but the key is getting those guys the ball, and Penn's defensive front was in the quarterback's face all night. Braxton Brooks certainly could have had a bigger game than he did. Penn was keeping him from getting the ball in his hands. But yeah, Deuce Owens, Braxton Brooks, Jack Dyrol, all 3 of them had good games despite, the struggle with the pass.
Well, think about it. Marian's first play of the game was a bad snap, and Penn's got the ball at the 3-yard line.
And so then for the Penn Kings, a number of players made some really good plays. I mean, at this point, Matt Lillard, you and I said we could always give it to Jadon Parker, especially given where he started the season. Now he is at this point either the number 1 or number 2 running back at this point, especially with Malachi Evans. But in this case, we're going with the defense, who, again, they just continue to improve each and every day. We thought about Kenny Welsh. He was great in the middle of that time. You could always give it to the defensive line, who gets better and better each and every time. But this time, as kind of a way to just help celebrate the whole secondary, we're going with Peyton Horner. It feels like, he's now got, at this point, 4 interceptions through 5 games and always finds a way to keep his head on a swivel. So we're finally going to give him that recognition that he deserves, and we're giving it to Peyton Horner for the Kingsmen.
Peyton Horner made one of the most athletic plays I've ever seen in a high school game on that interception. He tipped the ball up in the air and caught it behind the receiver while he was going to the ground. It was awesome. But that whole defensive backfield, Benny Freeman, Colton Hernandez, Joey DePalma and Peyton Horner all played excellent. We didn't talk as much about them because the defensive line was really putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and that was what was really shutting down a lot of the pass. But yeah, they were also playing shutdown defense in the backfield. Excellent defense by those 4 young men. I was impressed. Again, this defense has made huge strides in the last couple weeks.
So it's going to be Braxton Brooks for the Mishawaka Marian Knights and Peyton Horner for the Penn Kingsmen, our Lillier Insurance Agency players of the game. As Matt Compsey mentioned, next up for both these teams, Mishawaka Marian back at Bob Tolsky Field as they take on the South Bend Washington Panthers. And you can tune into that game right here on RRFN.com. Meanwhile, for the Penn Kingsmen, they're going to be traveling to School Field as we get ready to take on the South Bend Adams Eagles. You can tune into that game here on 91.1 The Globe, on globeradio.org, and RRFN.com. 6:30 p.m. Eastern start time for pregame coverage, 7 p.m. kickoff once again from School Field. That's going to do it for our coverage of Penn football here tonight on 91.1 The Globe and the Regional Radio Sports Network. A huge shout out to both coaches tonight, to Mike Davidson for the Mishawaka Marian Knights, and as always to Pete Reardon, doing a great job in his first season at the helm of the Black and Gold. The entire game day staff, and especially with guys like Dwayne Lewandowski, always great to work with these great fine people here tonight. Of course, the athletics department here with Jeff Hart and Bridget Williams, always great to catch up with them, and the great work that they do here at Penn High School, and especially Superintendent Dr. Jerry Thacker. Saw him earlier today, and again, what a phenomenal job that he has done in making Penn one of the elite programs in all of the state of Indiana. Of course, to our board operator, Cormac Kuplicki, doing a spectacular job making sure that we stay on the air and making sure we also stay out of trouble as well throughout the course of tonight. Again, big thank you to Paul Latani, Condrey, Mike, and Nesbitt, the 3 that have given us the opportunity to put on the headset and hang out here on Friday night. And as always, for 5 weeks now on Friday night, to my crew, Matt Lillier to my left and Matt Compsey to my right. Always an absolute pleasure. A good win here for Penn tonight. And as we talked about before with it, Friday night's always a fun way to spend instead of just being at home and doing anything else. But gentlemen, always a pleasure, and let's do this again sometime next week.
Nothing better than Friday night at Freed Field.
So once again, our final score from here at Everwise Freed Field, the Penn Kingsmen win in conference play against the Mishawaka Marian Knights by a final score of 24-7. For all of us at the Regional Radio Sports Network and everyone here at Penn High School, my name is Tanner Kim, and so long from... And that's a good point, Matt Copsey, as a reminder that we need to read the billboard because they are just as important, in fact, the reason why we have this as well. So once again, as a reminder, high school football on the Regional Radio Sports Network is presented by the Lillier Insurance Agency, Harrison Sons Construction, Chris Neal State Farm Insurance, Beef O'Brady's, McDonald Physical Therapy, Clover Machinery Movers, A's Rental, Guidance Wealth, Zolman Tire, the 2024 Indiana Football Digest, the Coaches Box, Cuban Networks, Eric Gunther State Farm Insurance, the Beaver Law Office, Flags International, the Ronald McDonald House Charities, and Ivy Tech Community College. Let's do take 2 now. Our final score from here at Freed Field, Penn 24, Mishawaka Marian 7. For all of us at the Regional Radio Sports Network and everyone here at Penn High School, my name is Tanner Campson. Have a great rest of your Friday night. Have a great rest of your weekend. And so long from Everwise Freed Field here on the campus of Penn High School here in beautiful Osceola, Indiana.
Hi friends, Jen here. Tune in to the Midday Mix every weekday from 2 to 4 on 91.1 The Globe. Enjoy classic Americana, AAA, and indie hits brought to you by our delightful DJs. Keep it locked to the best college radio station in Indiana, your source for culturally progressive music. This is The Globe.
The non-commercial educational radio voice of Goshen College, WGCS Goshen.
Every person, business, and community has a story to tell. Every brand has a why. Your why is the most important part of your message to customers. iDart uses graphics, video, web design, and more to share your why, sharing your brand in its unique voice. iDart aims to provide clear messaging to targeted audiences with creative strategies focused on relationship management and data-driven solutions. You can learn more at idart.com.
91.1 The Globe is underwritten by Helmuth Woodworks. With an emphasis on clean, simple designs that offer timeless looks and environmental sustainability, Helmuth Woodworks creates high-end heirloom quality pieces that are meticulously crafted to highlight the unique character of the wood. To visit their online shop or start a custom project, you can visit helmuthwoodworks.com. That's HELMUTH woodworks.com. Helmuth Woodworks, preserving the legacy of woodwork. Coming at you with your Globe Evening Weather Update, my name is Colin Eccles. Tonight we'll drop down to a low of 56, clear skies as the night goes on, headed into Friday. Partly cloudy with a high of 83 and a low of 61. And Saturday, clear skies again, but a high of 86 and a low of 61. That is your Globe 48-hour weather update.
A vision in my dreams, but that ain't what it seems. Pictures on the wall, but I can't find you at all. You walked right out the door, and I crashed into the floor. I won't get up no more, 'cause I can't find you at all. You vanished in thin air, and you thought I wouldn't care, but you were all so wrong. Through the window now I stare, but I can't see you at all.